Hello everyone, and we are live, and welcome to part one of my complete Blu-ray collection today. And I'm really looking forward to doing this. Before we get started into the films, I'm going to explain what part one will be and what the other two parts will be. So part one will be all my movies that I have upstairs. So yeah, that'd be cool. And part two will be all the films that I have over in this side of the room, and part three will be all of the films that I have over this side of the room. So that's how I'm going to do this complete Blu-ray collection for live stream thing. And yeah, I'm really excited to do this. I've got a lot of films to go through. Also, before we get into the comments, I will also say that I do have quite a lot of TV comedy shows on DVD, and also a lot of wrestling DVDs and football DVDs, but I will not be showing them in this Blu-ray collection video. I'll probably do a separate videos on those in the future. So yeah, look forward to those as well. And yeah, with all that being said, let's just get started. I think I'll go through a few comments first, and then I'll start getting into the movies. And first up, we have Rody here. Hello, mate. Saying he sees Clerks in a thumbnail. Yes, indeed, and that will be in this part. We got Harry Ty here. Hello, mate. Saying evening, Scott. Hope you're well, mate. Yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. We got Matt Vengeance Media. Hello, mate. Saying let's go. Looking forward to this. Thank you, Matt. Hope you enjoy. And we also got Matt saying shite. Indeed. And we also got Harry saying Mortal Kombat. Right, we got those out of the way. So yeah, let's get cracking with the movies. And we've also got Tisha's all saying, hey Scott, hello mate. And first up we've got The Fifth Element. Sorry about the glare there, everyone. But I have watched this film. Unfortunately it wasn't to my taste. I thought it was very weird and quite out there, and I didn't understand what the fuck was happening, to be honest. So yeah, it weren't for me, that one, unfortunately. Next up we have The Driver. This is a okay film. It's not one of my favourite Rod film movies, but it is a well-made film, and I think the acting in it is really good. It's quite suspenseful at times as well. So yeah, decent movie, just not one of my favourites. Next up we have an all-time classic, which is Tango and Cash. This is one of my favourite 80s action movies. The chemistry on screen with Kurt Russell's and Sylvester Stallone's characters, absolutely incredible. So much fun. They're really entertaining to watch on the screen. And yeah, this is just a great film. Deserve to have a sequel as well. Next up we have 50/50. This is a really great film. Quite emotional at times as well. I remember this one being quite sad. The performances are incredible from Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and yeah, it's just a modern classic. Going to a few more comments. We got Josh here from Through Then saying shite. We got Matt saying laugh my arse off. We got Bad Lieutenant. Hello mate, thank you for joining, saying I have me ducks. We got XO1 here saying evening Scott, evening mate, hope you enjoy. Got Josh saying still need to see Fifth Element. Hope you enjoy it, Josh. It's quite a popular film, just wasn't for me, unfortunately. We got Bad Lieutenant saying a very decent modern sci-fi film. Yeah, definitely. We got Through the Lens, Josh saying 50/50 is great. Indeed it is. 100% agree with that. And continuing with the movies, we have Hannibal, which is a really good sequel actually. I really enjoyed this one. I think Anthony Hopkins is fantastic in it. And yeah, I think it's quite an underrated movie, this one. Really solid movie there. Next up we have Daylight, which is another underrated movie. Really great Sylvester Stallone movie here. I think the action is fantastic in this film, and again, Sylvester Stallone's just a really likeable character in this movie. Yeah, I have a great time with this one. Next up, we have Graveyard Shift, which is actually really cool 90s horror movie. I quite enjoyed this one. I would say one of the most underrated Stephen King adaptations. But really creepy, and yeah, just a really cool movie, that one. Got Mike T says you're saying love Daylight. Yeah, same here, mate. What a film. Next up, we have The Descent, which is a really creepy and claustrophobic movie. Really enjoyed this one. I thought it reacting and it was actually pretty decent, to be fair, as well. And yeah, it's just a really tense and great horror film, that one. And we've got Mike from Did You See That here? Hello, mate. Hope you enjoy. Next up, we have Silence of the Lambs, which is an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. Definitely the best of the Silence of the Lambs trilogy. I really love this film. I think the writing is exceptional, and some of the dialogue is just fantastic. I love this movie. The story itself is great. Yeah, really enjoy this movie. Got Josh saying The Descent wasn't for me. Didn't like what I saw too much. That's fair enough, mate. No worries. And we got the monkey here. Hello, mate. Saying, what's your favourite slipcover, Scott? That is a very good question. The HMV cover on the Poltergeist Blu-ray's pretty cool, actually. I really enjoy that one. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, now we've got Scott mastering with masculine shite. We need to teach him a few more sayings as mad for it, and you're twisting my melon man. Yeah, wow, that's a great song. We got XO1 saying The Descent is a great horror flick. It definitely is. I 100% agree with that. We got Matt saying puts lotion in the basket. He puts a fucking lotion in the basket. There we go. Next up we got the Quadrophenia, the Who Blu-ray soundtrack, which is one of my favourite albums ever. I absolutely love this soundtrack. Has some of my favourite songs of all time, and obviously the soundtrack is obviously part of one of my favourite movies of all time, which is Quadrophenia, obviously. Yeah, just love everything about it, really. We got Josh saying, will you be getting After Sun on Monday? I won't get it on Monday, but I will definitely get it at some point because it is a film I'm really looking forward to checking out. We got Josh saying Annabelle eats ass, literally. That's fair enough, mate. No worries. And we got the Beatles one here, which is a really great Blu-ray. Just all the Beatles number ones. Some great songs on here, of course, like I Feel Fine, Hard Day's Night. Also got Eleanor Rigby, which is fantastic. And yeah, it's just got a lot of their great classic songs on there. Next up, we got Smoking Aces, which is an underrated gangster sort of film. I really enjoyed this film. I think that the acting's quite entertaining in it. Has some good action in it as well. And then yeah, it's quite an underrated film from 2000s. This one would definitely recommend it. Got Roddy saying, will this live stream have any weird questions? I honestly don't know, but we will find out. And we got Josh saying, honest to no clue. Yeah, me neither, to be fair. Next up, we have Hollow Man, which is another really great film. I think Kevin Bacon puts in a really good performance in this movie. The direction by Paul Verhoeven is great as well. And yeah, it's just a really entertaining time, this film. I have a great time with it. And we got Steve here. Hello, mate. Hope you enjoy this live stream. Looking forward to doing this. Next up, we've got Kindergarten Cop, which is a really entertaining comedy starring Schwarzenegger. Really, really great comedy from the early 90s. This really fun. Love it. Next up, we got Bad Lieutenant saying, Scott, I'd like to eat your Blu-rays with some flavoured beans and nice Chianti. Oh, that's funny, that is. We got Matt saying hi to Steve and Steve saying hi to Matt. Thank you all for joining, by the way. Really do appreciate it. And next up, we've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy. I really, really enjoyed the first two movies. Didn't grow up with these films. I watched them for the first time about 2 or 3 years ago now, I believe. But yeah, the first two are excellent. I really enjoyed them. But the third one just wasn't for me, unfortunately. I thought I went a bit too far there. Got Mike saying childhood film, Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, definitely. What a classic. Next up, we have Elf, which is one of my favourite Christmas movies. Really enjoyed this film, obviously. It has some great one-liners in it. And yeah, what's his name? Will Ferrell, that's his name, is really great in this film, obviously, yourself. Classic Christmas movie. Got Josh saying those Ninja Turtles movies are stinky doo-doo, but they are so funny. They are really funny, mate, definitely. We got Josh saying Santa. Got Bad Lieutenant saying, not sure if I prefer Quadrophenia or Tommy, to be honest. Oh, that's fair enough. I actually still need to watch Tommy, to be fair, but yeah, I'll have to give that a go, definitely. And we got Josh saying, look, it's Santa, definitely. We got Matt saying, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Gotta love Kindergarten Cop, definitely. Got the monkey saying, you may have a fun time with Hollow Man, but the women in the apartment sure didn't have a fun time, Scott. Haven't seen her in much since. I can't remember that scene, actually, to be honest. I have to rewatch it, to be fair. It's been a while since I last seen it. Next up, we've have Dragonheart, which is a really entertaining movie. I think that Sean Connery as Draco the Dragon's really good. His voice acting in this is really great. And yeah, it's just a really fun 90s movie, that one. Next up, we have Night of the Creeps, which is such a great, fun horror comedy from the late 80s. Just such a great time. The effects look fantastic, and it's just such a great movie, this one. Got I've missed a few comments, apologies. Josh saying Vengeance Media, those XCD glasses came in handy. Definitely. Got Mike saying, is there any Blu-rays that you own that are shite? Yes, definitely, and there will be a few that we'll get to probably in this video. But Island of Death definitely springs to mind. I hate that film. Got Josh saying trust me, we both have laugh our arse off. And we've got Andy, Forgotten World of Movies here saying evening, hello mate, hope you're doing well. Got Rhodey saying I own Morbius on 4K. Awesome, great stuff. I probably won't get that movie, to be fair, because I haven't heard the best things, to be honest. We got did you see that saying brilliant to Josh? Bad Lieutenant saying that would be considered a hate crime by the alphabet people saying that, yeah, definitely. Got Monkey saying yes, did you see that I'd say Point Break? Got Josh saying on it, you won't forget it, yeah, definitely. Got did you see that saying if you enjoy it, fair enough. Got Mike saying Tom Atkins is class in Night of the Creeps. Yeah, he definitely is. What a film. Got Bodie saying I really don't enjoy it. That's fair enough. I haven't heard great things about Morbius, to be fair. Got Going North here. Hello mate. Saying Island of Death is terrible. I agree. Yeah, definitely that film is really bad. But let's get into some more movies. Next up we've got Invasion USA. Really entertaining film, this one. Chuck Norris's class in this movie. It's definitely not a great film by any means, but I just have such a great time with this one. Really enjoyable film there. Next up, we have Jojo Rabbit, which is a fantastic comedy movie. Taika Waititi's humour in this movie is absolutely class, and I would say it's one of my favourite movies from last decade. Definitely, just such a great time, that film. And here we go. It's Island of Death, which is a pile of shite, in my opinion. Yeah, this film's just so boring to me. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't really explain it, but nothing. The plot doesn't really go anywhere for me, and there isn't too much that happens in this movie, in all honesty. But I love the cover though. That cover is awesome, just so wacky and really out there. But yeah, the movie's just not for me, that one. Let's go into a few more comments. Got Josh saying I own the Transformers movies. That's a sin. I probably won't get the Transformers movies anytime soon, to be fair. I've heard they're really bad, some of them. Got Matt saying, haha, yeah, that Lightning Kindergarten Cop will trigger people these days. Yeah, definitely will. We got Monkey saying it's more bin time. Yeah, definitely. We got Rhodey saying I own Black Adam on 4K Steelbook. What a load of shite. I didn't mind Black Adam, to be fair. I thought it was okay at best. We got Josh saying, so I own it, my guy. We got Josh saying it's more malicious. Rhodey saying memes, yeah, definitely. Matt says he still needs to see Jojo Rabbit. Highly recommend it, Matt. It's a really great movie, that one. Got Josh saying to Rhodey, go on Twitter for that. Don't waste your World War II pennies on it. I think that was what that means by WW2. We got Rhodey saying I have money to spend and I'll spend it how I please. That's fair enough, Rhodey. And we got your action star here. Hello, mate. How you doing? Let's get into some more movies. Next up, I have Spit on Your Grave remake, which is violent as anything. This film is really fucking brutal, but yeah, I really do have a good time with some of the revenge stuff in this. This film is really, really hard to watch at times as well, though. To be fair, flipping out. But it is a well-made movie, and with revenge stuff in it is absolutely fantastic. Next up, we have the original Phantasm on Arrow Video, which is a fantastic movie. It's a bit weird and it is quite hard to understand, but I think it's a really enjoyable movie, and I think the Tall Man is an excellent villain, really creepy. Yeah, just a great sci-fi horror from the late 70s there. Really enjoy that film. Going to a few more comments. Got Josh saying Jojo Rabbit is great, love the character dynamics and the satirical nature, even when it's dark. Yeah, definitely, I agree with you, Josh. It's a fantastic movie. Brody saying it's his Morbin time. Got Bad Lieutenant saying to Matt, was surprised by how good it was. Stephen Merchant made a very creepy Gestapo officer in it. Got Going Off saying that remake is decent. Yeah, definitely. We got Steve saying that Island of Death cover, lol. Yeah, it's definitely interesting cover, that's for sure. Next up, we've got the original Carrie, which is just an all-time classic 70s horror film. This directed by Brian De Palma, of course, and his directions in all these films are fantastic. And I really like the story to this movie, and I think the character Carrie herself is just absolutely phenomenal. And what she does at the end after everything she goes through is just fantastic. Next up, we have Bloody Moon, which I believe was on the original 39 banned list of the Video Nasties. This is an okay movie. I didn't love it, but there is some quite good kills in it. But other than that, there's not a lot that really happens in this movie, to be fair. So it is very average to me. Go into a few more comments. Got Matt says, does Stephen ever come over and steal your movies? No, he's never done that before. He always asks before borrowing, which is great of him, of course. We got Bad Lieutenant saying we Nico must. I can't pronounce that. Video Nasty. I think I've heard of that, but I definitely don't own it. We got Matt saying Carrie is amazing. It definitely is one of my favourite horrors. We got Josh saying, have you seen Judas and the Black Messiah yet? I own a Blu-ray and I love it. I have seen that film and I think it is a fantastic movie. When did that come out? 2021? Probably one of my favourite movies from that year. Just really, really good stuff there. Glad you enjoyed it as well, Josh. And next up we have End of Days, which is a really underrated Arnie movie. This one, I really had a great time with this one, and reaction in it is fantastic. Arnie is great as he always is, and yeah, just a really entertaining time, that film. Next up we have Psycho 2, which is honestly a great sequel. I think this is a really underrated movie. I think it's got a little bit of cult following now, though, to be fair, but I think this film rivals the first movie. I still think the first one is better, but I think this comes very close to the original movie, to be fair. Just a really fantastic sequel, that one. Next up we have Deep Blue Sea, which is a really fun and classic shark movie. I do have a great time with this film. It's not a great movie. It's definitely not aged the best, but it's still a fun time, and it has a really great cast in it as well, that one. Going to a few more comments. Next, we got Matt saying remake was good of Carrie as well with Progress Max. I still need to see that actually, but I have heard it. It's not too bad, to be fair. And we got Pretender Guy here. Hello, Pete. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Got Bad Lieutenant saying Chuck Norris that nothing could kill him, so he found nothing and killed it. We got Gary North saying Bloody Moon, typical just Franco series. Yeah, definitely. We got Bad Lieutenant say a Predator Day recovered from last night. Yeah, that was interesting stream last night. Had an absolute blast last night. We got the monkey saying everyone here does not like Brie Larson. Can rejoice since her new film was delayed for Marvels. I don't mind Brie Larson, to be fair. I think she's done quite a few good films, but I wasn't a fan of Captain Marvel myself, that's for sure. Next up, we've got the Butterfly Effect trilogy. Unfortunately, I have not seen these yet, but I've heard that the first film is actually really, really good, so I've definitely got to get around to watching this film soon. Next up, we have Shocker, which is just a really entertaining horror film from the 80s. It's probably one of my favourite Wes Craven movies. The story is so much fun. I have so much fun with this movie. And yeah, the acting isn't great though, but I think that adds to the charm of the movie as well, to be fair. So yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, check it out. It's a really great time, that movie. Next up, we have Bride of Reanimator. I haven't actually seen this film yet, but I do love the first Reanimator film, so I am definitely looking forward to checking this one out and seeing if it's any good. And I forgot to mention this at the start of the stream, but these movies are in no particular order whatsoever. But there'll probably be some sequels that you will see in this video, then you'll see the first movie in the next part or something. But yeah, so no particular order whatsoever. But with that being said, let's crack on with the rest of the films. Next up, we have The Poltergeist, which is a really great 80s horror film. I think the effects hold up quite well in this movie, and the score is fantastic. Really well directed Toby Hooper movie here. And I believe I own this on 4K as well, so I will talk about that in the next video. We got going off saying they should delay Marvels forever. Yeah, I can't say I'm too excited to watch it, to be fair. We got Matt saying Pretender is here. I bet you Action Star Life is happy. Yeah, I bet she is. We got Pretender guy Pete saying, hey Bad Lieutenant, I'm good, thanks. Good to hear you're doing okay, Pete. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, do you know Jess Franco had 7 films in a video nasty list? He directed 5 and co-wrote 2. I did not know that. No, that's quite a lot of movies, to be fair. We got Pete saying, I bet she is, Matt. What? Well, hello there, True Action Stars wife. Love it. Let's continue with more movies. Next up, we have Running Man, which is not one of my favourite Arnie movies. Unfortunately, in all honesty, I still enjoyed the film, but I thought it was a bit dated, and there was some scenes that really dragged for me in this movie, unfortunately. But it's still a fun time, and I really like the concept of the movie as well. Next up, we have Bulletproof, which is a really good sort of like buddy cop movie, for what I remember. Really great comedy movie, action movie. This with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. Really enjoyed this one. Got some great one-liners in it, and just a classic movie. Next up, we have The Lighthouse, which is a really great film. I did really like this film. I thought it was really unique and different. It is quite weird and out there, so I can understand why people don't like this movie. But yeah, it just worked for me, and I really liked the black and white setting of it as well. I thought it really added to the atmosphere that this movie was trying to build. So yeah, really good movie, that one. Next up, we have Escape from New York, which is a classic John Carpenter movie starring Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken, which is a really iconic character. I did enjoy this movie, but it's not one of my favourites. I think it drags in some scenes for me, unfortunately. But there is still some great action in this movie, and there's some really fun scenes to be had in this film as well. So yeah, I think this is a good movie, just not a great one, unfortunately. Next up, we have Dress to Kill, which is a really great Brian De Palma movie. Michael Caine is absolutely brilliant in this film, like he is in most movies. I really like the story and the tension built into this movie as well. And yeah, it's just a really great suspenseful thriller, this one. Next up, we have My Cousin Vinny, which is a really great comedy movie. It's got I've forgotten their names. Joe Pesci, Ralph Macchio, Melissa Tomei. There we go. Who are absolutely fantastic in this movie. All give great performances, especially Joe Pesci. He's so funny in this movie. Really great character, and yeah, this film's just a lot of fun. I guess I could have just looked at the actual cover of the Blu-ray. That probably would have helped out, but there we go. Next up, we've got Assault on Precinct 13, which is a really great action 70s movie. This, I believe, this is also directed by John Carpenter, and yeah, John Carpenter just done a lot of great movies in the 70s and 80s, and this is definitely one of those movies. I have a great time with this film. It's really tense and it's action packed as well. Great movie there. Gonna go through a few more comments. Got Gary saying Jess Franco has made some good movies amongst his 200 plus films. Wow, that's a lot of films. Got the monkey saying Pete with ladies, man, congratulations. We got Bad Lieutenant saying Buddy Moon, but that was about it. Got Pete saying I wish for a monkey. We got Matt saying Poltergeist 1 looks great in 4K. Oh, that's awesome. I need to check out the 4K still, so I'll have to get around to watching that. Got Bad Lieutenant saying fantastic film. Such a shame what happened to Evo Warclow. Yeah, definitely. We got the monkey saying in front of all of you, I give Pete of Jungle Love Awards of the monkey for best 80s fan of 2023. We got Pete saying, "Oh, Cuddy, take that award, monkey." We got the monkey saying it's a gold to go to put on your mantle, Pete. Oh, that's brilliant. That is. But let's get into some more movies. And next up, we have Erin Brockovich, which is a fantastic film. Julia Roberts is a fantastic actress, and she really proves that in this movie. Her performance in this film is absolutely spellbinding. And yeah, well, this is based on a true story as well. And what she had to go through was just horrible. But this film is really well made and really well acted, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Next up, we have Crawl, which was a really entertaining horror film. I do think it relies on jump scares a lot of the time, though, and it can get a bit repetitive at times as well. But overall, I did have a fun time with this one. Next up, we have Mean Streets, which is a classic film directed by Martin Scorsese. I did enjoy this film. I thought it was a really good time. But again, like a lot of 70s movies, this film just drags for me, unfortunately. There's definitely a lot of slow moving scenes in this film, which I don't mind, slow burners, but this film definitely moves too slow for me, for my liking in certain scenes of the film. But other than that, I still had a really good time with this movie, and Bob De Niro is great as always. Next up, we have Nightbreed, which I was recommended by Vassal Lives Matter. He was a fantastic YouTuber, and yeah, I can see why he's a massive fan of this film, because I thought this film was really, really good. Just a really entertaining and fun time, and a classic horror movie from the early 90s there. Next up, we have The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I've not seen this movie yet, but I've heard fantastic things about it, so definitely looking forward to giving this a go. Next up, we have Hoosiers, which is a really great sports movie starring one of my favourite actors of all time, Gene Hackman. I think he gives a fantastic performance in this movie as the basketball coach. And yeah, it's just a really fun time. If you like your sports movies, I would definitely recommend this movie. Next up, we have Phantasm 2, which is a really great sequel. I might prefer this to the first movie, actually. I'm not too sure. Both of them are so good. But yeah, this just is such an entertaining sequel, and again, the tall man as a villain is absolutely class. Next up, we have VHS, which again is another film that I'm yet to see, but I've heard that this film is really scary, so I'm looking forward to checking it out, but I'm sure I'll be really scared watching that one. Next up, we have Midnight Run, which is one of my favourite 80s movies. I absolutely adore this film. This film is so funny. Bob De Niro is so good in this film. I really like his character in this. And it has one of my favourite lines in a movie ever, which I won't say because it is towards the end of the movie and it is kind of a spoiler to a plot of the film. But if you've seen this film, you probably know which one that is. It's just so funny and entertaining. And yeah, I just love this film. Next up, we have Rambo Last Blood, which is not for me, unfortunately. I really didn't like this movie. I love the first 4 Rambo films, but this one just didn't feel like a Rambo film at all to me. It just felt like Sylvester Stallone being Sylvester Stallone. And I miss the mullet haircut in this film as well. I really wish he had the mullet in this film. But go through a few more comments. Got your action star saying the wife would show you many sights, Pretender guy. Wow. We got Bad Lieutenant saying one of the best Blu-rays I bought recently was Fist of Jesus, a Spanish short film about with Jesus and Judas if directed by George A. Romero. Oh, that's quite cool. I didn't know that he directed that. We got Matt saying we have such sights to show you, Pete. We got the monkey saying I agree, true action star for Pete, even to get education lessons. Pretender guys asking what size would they be. Pete saying it is a gentleman. Got the monkey saying as referring to the Golden Globes. This chat's quite funny tonight, really enjoy reading these. We got Bad Lieutenant saying objection hearsay. We got true action star saying the wife would open your eyes, Pete. Wow, that's a bit graphic. We got Gary North saying David Cronenberg was good in Nightbreed. Yes, definitely, I do agree with that. And next up, we got Fletch, which is a really entertaining comedy. Chevy Chase is fantastic, as always. He's a really fantastic actor. Just such a great comedian. I find him entertaining in every film that he's done. This isn't my favourite film of his. I would probably say that would be Christmas Vacation. But this is still a great time, and I really enjoyed watching this movie nonetheless. Next up, we have Step Brothers, which is a really entertaining comedy movie. I think the chemistry between Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly's character is on point in this film as brothers. And yeah, it's just a really fun and entertaining comedy with some laugh out loud moments. Have a great time watching that one. Next up, we have Star Wars: A Rogue One story, which I really did enjoy this film. It's probably one of my favourite Star Wars movies. Just has so many great hype moments in this film. A lot of fun action, and the cast do a fantastic job as well, I feel. Got Matt saying open pizza types more like. We got Bad Lieutenant and his butt cheeks probably. Got Pete saying I'm going to get an education, I see. I've gone to the bottom of the comments by accident. Apologies, everyone. We got the monkey saying I could send some banana oil to help loosen his gate feathers. We got Matt saying pipe me pillow, Pete. We got a Bad Lieutenant, you know it. Yeah, definitely. We got True Action Star saying she'd certainly give you a good time, Pete. Oh dear. We got Matt saying Rambo Last Blood felt very underwhelming. Yes, definitely, Matt. I 100% agree with you there, my friend. And we got Michael Parker here. Hello, mate. Saying Midnight Run, awesome pick, Scott. I'm gonna get some donuts. Awesome stuff, mate. We got Pete saying I'm pretty experienced, True Action Star. We got the monkey saying, dear Lord, this chat is giving me body heat vibes. We got Bad Lieutenant saying more like 9.5 weeks. We got a monkey saying I approve. Traction Star says my wife would give Nintendo guy a few treats. I'm sure she would. And next up, we've got the Planet of the Apes remastered trilogy. This is a or shall I say renewed trilogy, like rebooted trilogy that came out a few years ago. Really enjoyed these films. I think the first one is probably my favourite, but Dawn and War are great films as well. I haven't actually seen the original franchise of movies, so I'll definitely have to give those a watch. I've heard the first movie's absolutely fantastic, so definitely need to give that a go at some point. But yeah, these films are just excellent. Next up, we have La La Land, which is a decent movie. I really like aspects to this movie, but I watched this when I wasn't a massive fan of musicals, so that's probably why I didn't love it as much as everyone else. But yeah, I'll definitely have to give this another go at some point, as I know this is a very popular movie, that one. Next up, we have Blind Fury, which I haven't actually seen yet, to be honest, but I do love Rutger Hauer as an actor. I think he's amazing in The Hitcher, and I've heard that this is going to be quite a fun action movie, so I'm definitely looking forward to watching this one. We got Matt saying Chevy Chase is a legend. He definitely is. I do agree with that. We got Traction Star saying Mickey Walker's experienced nothing until he's seen Revive. Bad Lieutenant saying you were fond of me, Lobster. We got Pete saying I want to watch more Chevy Chase films. Yeah, I want to watch a few more of his, to be fair, Pete. I've only seen Christmas Vacation, Spies Like Us, and Fletch, which were all really entertaining films, but I really do need to watch some more of these films. Traction Star says my wrist still have the cuff marks on. Oh dear. We got Matt saying Step Brothers is quality. It's Ascot, but I won't put my balls on a drum set. No, definitely not. Oh, here we go. I know Jordan will approve of this one if he watches this on playback. But next up we have Frailty. This film is so good. I absolutely adore this film. The story is fantastic. It has one of the best endings I've ever seen, which I don't want to spoil, but if you haven't seen this movie, the ending is absolutely brilliant. Matthew McConaughey and Paris Booth give excellent performances in this movie. And it's actually directed by Bill Paxton as well, and he also stars in this movie. And yeah, this is just such a great art film, really underrated that. Next up, we have Chinatown, which I have only seen once before, but I remember really liking it. I remember being really invested and engaged with the story. And Jack Nicholson gives a fantastic performance, like always. He's always really good in his movies. And yeah, this is just a really great movie from the 70s, this one. Next up, we have Get Shorty, which is an entertaining sort of action / comedy movie. Does have a great cast in this movie. Got Gene Hackman and Renee Russell, Danny DeVito, just to name a few. And yeah, I just have a blast with this movie. Thought it was a lot of fun. Gonna go into a few more comments, then go on to a few more films. We got a monkey saying, what did you think of him in Nothing But Trouble? That's a film that I need to watch, actually. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, what's your favourite Blu-ray in your collection? Mine has to be Hallmark edition of Tommy Wiseau's 2003 Disaster Piece for Room. That's awesome, mate. I'm glad you have that. Very good question there. I would have to say maybe with Criterion set of Godzilla. If we're counting like a big box set of movies, but if we're going for a singular release or a singular box set, it'd probably be with Dawn of the Dead 4K limited edition set. I really enjoyed really like that set. Really awesome stuff there. We got Pete saying still need to see La La Land. Hope you enjoy it, Pete. It is a decent movie, that's for sure. We got Matt saying, but Monkey, I haven't seen that yet. Matt says you need to check it out. Yeah, I need to check that movie out as well, to be fair. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, don't know why, but John C. Reilly whipping his pool sack on a drum kit had me in tears of laughter the first time I saw it. It is a really funny scene, actually. It is really funny, to be fair. We got Matt saying, Scott, have you seen Chevy Chase in Vacation? where they go to Wally World theme park. Best road trip comedy movie ever made. I have not, unfortunately. The only vacation movie I have seen is Christmas Vacation, which was a fantastic movie. Really enjoyed that film, and I will be talking about that in the third part, I believe. So yeah, definitely looking forward to talking about that. Next up, I have the football Blu-ray, which is season review of 2018-2019 of Chelsea FC. I don't think many people are going to be interested in this one, to be fair, but it is part of my Blu-ray collection, so I thought I'd show it anyway. This was quite a good season. I enjoyed watching this back for a few times, and yeah, we did win a trophy in this one, which I believe was the Europa League against Arsenal. That was a really good victory. So yeah, we had a decent season there, but not a great one. And I've just dropped all my movies. For fuck's sake. That was bound to happen at some point, that's for sure. But next up, we have Paid in Full, which is a really entertaining hood movie. I have a lot of fun with this one. The cast is fantastic, and yeah, just a really entertaining movie, this one. Next up, we have Chariots of Fire, which I believe won an Oscar for Best Picture, I think. And yeah, it is a very well made movie, that's for sure. It's not one of my all-time favourites, admittedly, but I definitely appreciate this movie and what it was trying to do, and it is very well acted, and overall, it is a very well made movie. So yeah, good movie, just not one of my favourites. Next up, we have John Wick 2, which is an absolutely awesome kick-ass action movie. Keanu Reeves as John Wick is just an absolute badass. And yeah, this is just a awesome, fantastic sequel to a fantastic movie. Next up, we have another Chelsea Blu-ray, which is the season review of 2020, 2021. This was a decent season. What did we win in this one? Oh, we won the Champions League, of course, which was excellent, absolutely fantastic. For the second time, we won a Champions League, and yeah, this was a decent season, that one. Next up, oh, there we go. We got another Chelsea Blu-ray. I don't have too many of these guys, I promise, but I think this might be the last one in this video, to be fair. But yeah, this is the season review of 2019-20. This was a decent season, but I'm pretty sure we didn't win anything, if I remember correctly. But we're still decent. Next up, we have Annie G in the House. This is just such a fun movie. Annie G's just iconic at this point. Really funny and entertaining, and yeah, just a really great movie. Enjoy that one a lot. Next up, we have The Lords of Flatbush, which is absolute shite. Yes, I was not a fan of this movie at all. It is really slow paced movie, this one. Really slow moving. I get what he was trying to go for, but for me it just didn't work at all, in all honesty. Definitely one of the most disappointing Sylvester Stallone movies that I have seen, unfortunately. Next up, we have another really disappointing and boring Sylvester Stallone movie, which is called Paradise Alley. And yeah, this is basically similar to Rocky, but nowhere near as good. Obviously, Rocky is a much better movie, of course. But yeah, there's some entertaining scenes in this, I guess. But overall, I remember not enjoying this movie at all. And Sylvester Stallone sings a song in it, so that's something, I guess. Next up, we have Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which I actually quite enjoyed. I had a great time with the sequel. Elton John was flipping hilarious in it. I'm not too sure what he was doing in this movie, but yeah, it was great to see him in a film because he was really bad but so funny at the same time. Yeah, just a really fun, entertaining action movie. Taron Egerton as Eggsy was great again in this film, and yeah, has a really entertaining soundtrack as well. But I'm going to go into a few more comments again. We got Matt saying, oh, we got read that one out earlier. Got Matt saying, aha, yes, Patty Tennant. We got Going North saying Chinatown is excellent. Yes, definitely, I agree. Really enjoyed that one. We got your action stars saying Gene Hackman and Get Shorty is great. Yes, definitely, I do agree with that. We got Bad Lieutenant saying what was the sequel called to that? Can never remember the title. I can't remember what film you was what film that is. To be honest, Bad Lieutenant. Sorry, mate. We got Going Off saying with two Jakes. Oh, there we go. We got Two Action Stars saying very good selection of films, mate. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. We got Bad Lieutenant asking Gary saying if did Polanski direct it. He's saying that Gary's saying Jack directed himself. Awesome. We got Matt saying, Scott, I'll send you Vacation Complete Collection next week for subscriber mail. You've got to see the road trip one is classic. Thank you so much, Matt. But you don't have to. You don't have to do that. Honestly, that is so kind of you. I think actually no. I think I own the Complete Vacation box set already actually, Matt. But thank you so much for the offer. I really do appreciate that. It's so kind of you, my friend. But next up we have Bullet on Blu-ray, which comes in these really cool HMV iconic slip cover, and you have the original artwork behind it as well, which is great. And yeah, this is a classic Steve McQueen film. I really enjoyed this film. It has one of the best car chase sequences ever in a movie, in my opinion. And yeah, just really tense and entertaining, this film. Next up, we have Identity, which I don't know too much about, but I have heard good things about it, and I believe Ray Liotta is in this film as well. Rest in peace to him. What an actor he was. So yeah, definitely looking forward to watching this one in the future. Next up, we have The Apartment, which again is another film I'm yet to watch, but I've heard nothing but fantastic films about this movie. I believe it stars Jack Lemmon, who I've heard is a fantastic actor, and I've heard that this film's absolutely incredible, so definitely need to watch that one ASAP. Next up, we have Mandy, which I've heard is a fantastic movie. I remember Leon from Leon Talks Film talking about this movie quite a lot. He was a massive fan of this movie. I've heard it's going to be a really fucked up and quite a dark movie, so yeah, really looking forward to it. And obviously, it's got Nicolas Cage in it, so that's always a win. Next up, we have the Invisible Man remake, which I actually thought was pretty decent. Still need to see the original in all honesty, but I thought this was a solid remake. I enjoyed it for what it was. Doesn't really do anything spectacular, but the performance by Elizabeth Moss was fantastic, and it is quite creepy, to be fair. Going to a few more comments. We got Bad Lieutenant saying again, mate, if it's as good as Chinatown, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, definitely, I'll have to check it out as well, because I love Chinatown. Got Bad Lieutenant saying, loved Vacation, European and Christmas Vacation. Didn't like Las Vegas though. Oh, that's a shame, mate. But yeah, glad you enjoyed the rest of them. I have heard great things about them, to be fair. We got Pete saying Bullet is a classic. Yes, definitely. I really love that movie. Got Pete saying I need to get that. Hope you can get it for a decent price, Pete. We got Michael Parker saying, anyone asked tonight if Pete's watched Fright Night? They haven't, but I believe Pete has finally watched it, and I believe he really enjoyed it. So I'm really glad you enjoyed it, Pete. It's one of my favourite vampire movies. I grew up watching it when I was a kid, and yeah, just so glad you liked it, mate. Next up, we have The Wizard of Oz, which is just a fantastic movie. I grew up watching this when I was a kid. The visuals for the time just look absolutely stunning, but the colours in this film absolutely pop. And yeah, it's just such a charming and sweet film. I have an absolute great blast with that film. Next up, we have Finding Nemo, which is one of my favourite Pixar movies. Again, grew up watching this movie, and I think the story is really fantastic in this film. I really connect to the story, and yeah, just really entertaining film this, and I really like the characters as well. And next up, we have Walk the Line, which is an excellent film about the life story of Johnny Cash, a biopic of his life, which is played by Joaquin Phoenix, who gives a fantastic performance as Johnny Cash in this film. And yeah, this film is just really entertaining. The music is great, of course. And yeah, it's just a really entertaining time. Gonna go through a few more comments. We got Pete saying I actually watched it last night, mate. And yeah, glad you enjoyed it again, Pete. Definitely. Got Bradley Tennant. The only bit I can remember of it is the famous car chase. That is a great scene, to be fair. We got a monkey saying, "Can I send you skins so you stay safe and protected, Scott?" We got Michael Parker saying, "Awesome." We got going off saying, "Mandy is visually stunning." Oh, awesome! That's great to hear. I look forward to checking it out. We got Pete saying Chris Sarandon kind of reminded me of a young Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, definitely. I can see that. And we got Pete saying and Evil Dead reminded me Evil Ed, sorry, reminded me of David Pratt from Coronation Street. Fantastic film, mind. Yeah, definitely. We got Matt saying, Scott, I'll pick you something else for summer when I pick up my Rocky 4K set. Anything you got your eyes on at the moment? I'm not too sure, to be honest, Matt, at the moment. But I will get in touch with you if you really want to send me something. Again, you really don't have to, but thank you so much, mate. Only if you're 100% sure if you want to do it, mate. That is so kind of you. Next up, we've got Drag the Cots Concrete, which I've heard really great things about this film. I heard it was going to be quite violent and really well made. But I don't know too much about it. That's basically all that I've heard. And I've heard this might be quite a good film, so looking forward to giving it a go. Next up, we got My Boyfriend's Back, which is a really interesting and stupid comedy film. Basically about this guy that comes back as a corpse, I believe, from a grave, and yeah, it's really entertaining film this, and I think he falls in love as well afterwards, which is quite entertaining to see. Yeah, just a really entertaining 90s comedy, this film, but I remember so stupid, but just a lot of fun. Next up, we have Eureka, which I believe stars Clint Eastwood, does it? No, but it does star Gene Hackman. I thought Clint Eastwood was in this one for some reason, but I can't see his name on the front cover. But yeah, it does star Gene Hackman. Don't know too much about this movie, but I've heard good things about it, so we'll definitely give it a go. Next up, we have The Pre-Story 1 and 2, which are absolute classic Jackie Chan films. Really enjoyed watching these. Had an absolute blast with them. Reaction in these two films is absolutely sensational. Really well edited and well shot. And yeah, it just looks really awesome. Just some great stuff in that movie. Next up, we've got Mo Better Blues, which is sort of another urban movie starring Denzel Washington and directed by Spike Lee. But I wasn't too keen on this one, unfortunately. I thought it just dragged too much for me, but it was still entertaining at times. But yeah, it just wasn't for me, that movie. Next up, we have Body Double, which I watched for the first time last weekend and actually really, really enjoyed it. I thought the suspense in it was excellent. I thought the twist was great, and I also thought the directing in this one by Brian De Palma again was absolutely incredible. Yeah, just a really great suspenseful thriller, that one. We got your action star. So my wife asks Pretender, go, what's his favourite content? My wife likes strawberry chips. Fucking hell. Oh, fuck. And we got Pete saying Walker Line is brilliant. Yeah, definitely, I agree. What a film. We got Andy like stuff channel where hello Andy mate. We got what should Chelsea do their manager mate? 2 wins in 14, not good. Yeah, definitely I agree. We are absolute shite at the moment, to be honest. We are so bad, it is embarrassing. But I don't want to turn this into a football stream, but yeah, it's definitely not good at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if going Potter actually got sacked a bit soon, unfortunately, which is a shame because I do like Graham Potter, but I just don't think he's right for this job. We got Bad Lieutenant saying it's got to have that Criterion set, totally awesome. Hope they release related Godzilla movies eventually. Yes, definitely, that would be very cool to see. And next up we have John Wick Chapter 3, which is also a very good action sequel. And yeah, this is probably my least favourite just because I didn't connect with stories much as first two. But cinematography and visuals look great in this film, and the action set pieces are also fantastic like they are in the first two films. So yeah, while it's my least favourite, it doesn't mean it's a bad film because I still really like this film. Next up, we have a really underrated film called Speak, which stars Kirsten Stewart. This is a really fantastic film for what I remember. And yeah, the acting's incredible. I think this is probably Kirsten Stewart's best performance, I would say. And yeah, the story's excellent. And yeah, I just love this film. Highly recommended. Next up, we have the King of Comedy, which is an absolute classic Martin Scorsese movie. I really did have a great time with this one. Obviously, the Joker took some inspiration from this movie, which you can sort of tell. And yeah, it's just such a fun movie, absolute classic. Next up, we have Fruitvale Station, which is a really good movie. I believe this is based on a true story, and this is quite hard to watch, and it is quite emotional at times. And yeah, the acting by Michael B. Jordan's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, this is just a heartbreaking movie. Really great film there. And all I can say about that is roll on Creed 3. Come on, Creed 3. That looks fucking awesome, that movie. And next up we've got Spider-Man Into a Spider-Verse, which is an excellent animated Spider-Man movie. I thought the animation in this was really well done. I thought it looked kind of cool. And yeah, this is just a really cool movie. I like Miles Morales as Spider-Man. I think he's a great character. And yeah, this is just a really great movie. Got some great voice acting in it as well. And yeah, just such a great film that. Next up, we got Miracle, which is a fantastic sports movie starring Kurt Russell. I think this is an ice hockey movie, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I had a great time in this one. It was really inspirational. I really do like my sports movies though, so that's probably why I enjoyed this one a lot. So yeah, really entertaining time, that one. Got Pete saying true action star, I could dilute that information. We got Bad Lieutenant saying pray to the guy saying oh jeez, what the fuck. It might give him second thoughts. Oh dear. We got Pete saying, I honestly don't know how to reply to that question. I say plain Jane flavour. We got two action stars saying the wife has the munchies when she's had it, so she be like, what is this chat turning into tonight? We got Bad Lieutenant saying have Bolt and Wanderer seasons, but on DVD, including the two seasons we got into Europe. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I'm guessing that was mid 2000s, I think that was, if I remember correctly, when they got into Europe. Or one of the times they got into Europe anyway. We got Gary saying Mississippi Burning is one of Gene Hackman's best performances. Do you have a Blu-ray? Yes, I do have a Blu-ray, and yes, I do agree it is one of his best performances. I'm not too sure which video live stream that'll be in. As I said, these are in no particular order, but we will get to that movie at some point. We got Matt saying, yes, mate, would be an honour to send you a subscriber mail. Matt, thank you so much, mate. I really do appreciate it. You are an absolute legend. We got Direction Star Scott saying, Scott, may I say you're such a nice lad. Thank you, mate. Really do appreciate that. We got Michael Parker saying agreed. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. We got a monkey saying Pete, the wife would say, oh dear, fucking hell. We got Brad Lieutenant saying, Drew, don't start on Scott because you're not getting anywhere with Pretendo Guy. We got Pete saying Scott is one of the best. Thank you so much, Pete. I really do appreciate that. Thank you all so much for kind words. We got next up. We have a Changeling, which is a sort of a ghost horror movie, I believe. I think this is about supernatural stuff. And yeah, I've seen it once. Can't remember too much about it. I just remember it being quite creepy, sort of like haunted house kind of film. And yeah, it does have some good tension in it, to be fair, but I do think it is a little bit dated now, in all honesty. Next up, we have Lucky Number 11, which I've heard is actually meant to be really fun. I've heard that it's meant to be similar to Get Shorty, which I really enjoyed, so I am definitely looking forward to watching this one. Next up, we have Highlander, which I know Pete, Pretendo Guy in the chat, is a massive fan of this movie. And I also really, really like this film. I think it's an absolute classic, and the soundtrack by Queen is just ace in this film. Next up, we have Shallow Grave, which I believe is Danny Boyle's directorial debut, and wow, he done an amazing job, that's for sure. This is such a well-directed movie for his first film. This is honestly one of my favourite films of his. I really had a great time with this one. I connected to a story, thought it was really, really interesting, and the performances in it were fantastic. I can't remember who done the score, but the main theme to this film is absolutely brilliant. I love the main theme to that film. Next up, we got Three Kings, which I wasn't a massive fan of, in all honesty. Didn't really connect to the story, thought it was a bit slow, but the performances in it are quite decent, and I do like the cast in this movie. So yeah, it's an okay film, just not fantastic. Next up, we have This Is the End, which is a really fun and stupid, over-the-top comedy. I have a lot of fun with this one. Just really wacky and kind of stupid, but yeah, just such a great time, and the cast in it is absolutely phenomenal. Next up, we have Jingle All the Way, which is one of my favourite Jim Carrey movies. Put that cookie down now. That's the last time I'll be doing that impression. But yeah, I really enjoy this film. It's a Christmas staple, absolute classic, and yeah, just such a great time. Next up, we have Gridlocked, which is a really entertaining film. This is sort of similar to Trainspotting, and I have heard a few people compare it, sort of say this is like the American version of Trainspotting, which I can totally see that. And also, it's got my favourite rapper of all time in it, Tupac Shakur, who was just an absolute legend. Yeah, what an actor as well, really underrated actor, I think, as well. And yeah, this is a really good film, really enjoyed this one. Next up, we have Blow, which is a fantastic movie based on a true story. Johnny Depp is fantastic in this film. I'd probably say this is my favourite performance of his. And yeah, of course, it's got Penelope Cruz in it as well, which is great as well. So yeah, really entertaining film, this one. Really like it. Next up, we have Bloodbath, which I wasn't too keen on. It does have a couple good kills in it, but this film is just so slow. It doesn't really go anywhere, and it's probably one of my least favourite video nasties, in all honesty. I believe the original title was Bay of Blood, I think. But yeah, just not my cup of tea, that one, unfortunately. Next up, we have a really underrated underground bare knuckle boxing movie, which is called Gladiator. This is a really great boxing movie. This has some really great inspirational scenes in it. Is it James Marshall? Yes, James Marshall is fantastic in this movie, as well as Cuba Gooding Jr. I think their friendship in this movie is fantastic as well. And yeah, it's just a fantastic movie. Can't recommend that film enough, in all honesty. Next up, we have The Ambulance, which is a really underrated thriller from the early 90s, which stars Eric Roberts, from probably most famous for Best of the Best. And yeah, this is just a really entertaining suspense thriller that I really enjoyed. Next up, we have Clerks. Here we go. Roddy, be happy to see this one. Unfortunately, I'm not a massive fan of this film. I don't find this film funny. It's not for me at all, the humour. And I find it a little bit boring as well, unfortunately. But I am planning to give this film a rewatch because I've heard it does improve on a rewatch. So yeah, I will rewatch it at some point, but it's just not for me, unfortunately. We got 500 Days of Summer next, which is one of my favourite romance movies ever. I absolutely adore this film. Just such a sweet and charming film. And yeah, I have really grown to appreciate my romance movies now, and this is definitely one of the best. Going to go into a few more comments again. Quite far behind on the comments. We got two action stars saying, "But I think Scott is cute." Oh, she likes me as well, does she? We got two action stars saying, "Her wife thinks Pretender Guys is a beast." We got the monkey saying, "Told you, Pete." The monkey gave reward to the right piece. We got Pete saying, "Wait, that's not what I was meant to say. Thank you, monkey. I'll wear it with pride." What did I say wank for? Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. We got two action stars saying the wife would saddle with Potato Guy with her whip. Oh, this comment section is fantastic. Wow. We got Bradley Tennant saying, if it's a golden banana, where does he expect to wear it? We got Potato Guy saying, I don't know what to say to that true action star. We got the monkey saying, Pete, it helps if you call her Madame. We got a traction star saying, I'll gather Pretender Guy likes mature ladies, what the kids call girls. We got Pete saying, who do I call a Madame monkey? We got the monkey saying his wife since she's into whips. We got two action stars saying she like a golden shower too, Pretender Guy. It's frozen. And next up we got Pete saying, oh right monkey, I haven't called the lady Madame before. Got the monkey saying goes well with furry handcuffs. Got Bradley Tennant saying call her mistress, not Madame. Pete saying I'm well by death, I think. We got Carrie saying nothing proper. Oh dear. We got the monkey saying no, Lieutenant, you call them like they tell you to call them Madames. Pete, you obey mistress, you are weaker. The monkey says what my poem make typo. Got Bad Lieutenant say read Venus in first by Leopold van Sysche. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry, my friend. We got Pete saying I would love to read that. But let's get back into some more movies, shall we? And next up we have Arlington Road, which is a really great underrated thriller from the late 90s there, so I remember the twist being really good as well. Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins are great in this film, two fantastic actors there. And yeah, just a really great movie, this one would highly recommend. Next up we have Red Dragon, which is probably the most underrated movie in the Silence of the Lambs trilogy, I would say. I actually really like this film. I don't get the hate for it at all, to be honest. I think it's a really well made movie. I really like the story. Thought it was tense and suspenseful, and the performances are fantastic as well. Next up we have Hard Times, which is another really good bare knuckle boxing movie. Stars Charles Bronson, who is fantastic. And yeah, this is a really underrated film directed by Walter Hill, I believe. So yeah, would definitely recommend this one. Next up we have Magnolia, which I'm afraid to say is one of my least favourite movies. I really didn't connect with this movie at all. Thought it was way too weird and way too out there for my liking. I can definitely understand why this is a lot of people's favourite Paul Thomas Anderson film, but yeah, it just wasn't for me, unfortunately, that one. Next up we have Rockers, which is quite an entertaining film. This one sort of similar to Quadrophenia. Has some great reggae songs in this movie as well. Yeah, it's quite an entertaining film. To be fair, I do enjoy this film. Great time. Next up, we have Hamburger Hill, which is one of my favourite Vietnam War films. I think the action in this film is absolutely incredible and just great to watch. It is a hard movie to watch, like all war movies are, but yeah, this film's just fantastic. I love it. Next up, we have Natural Born Killers, the director's cut. Really great Oliver Stone movie. This one, I do have a great time with this movie. I really like the style to this film as well. I really like the way it looks, and yeah, the performances are fantastic as well. Great film. Gonna go to some more comments. Got Bad Lieutenant saying, "Or watch the 1969 film version by Gerard Damino." I think that's how you pronounce that. We got Direction Star saying, "But why Fazzle, but BTS tools are betrayed." We got Pete saying, "Thanks, Gary. I do have a pretty good taste." Got Bad Lieutenant saying, "But first of all, the BTS club is never skip on the loop." We got a monkey saying, "Pete, I'll send you travel fate. You have to meet his wife." We got True Action Star saying, "But why Fazzy, two Joy Hills makes a super tall domination," and I thought, fucking hell. Wow, this stream's getting really weird, but I love these comments. Just so weird and out there, love it. We got Streets of Fire, which is again another really good Walter Hill movie. Walter Hill is probably one of my favourite directors ever, to be honest. He's done so many great films, and yeah, this is another one of his great films. The music in this film is just fantastic. I really like the costume design in this movie as well. I think the costumes are great, and yeah, it's just a really fun time, this movie. Next up, we have State of Grace, which I believe is a gangster movie. Haven't seen this one yet, but I've heard really great things. And it has a great cast: Sean Penn, Ed Harrison, Gary Oldman. Can't go wrong with that. Next up, we have Blood Diamond, which is an excellent movie. It is quite hard to watch in some scenes, and the performances are absolutely fantastic. Just a fantastic, well-made movie, this one. Next up, we have 71, which is Irish war movie, I believe, set in Ireland. Yeah, really did have a good time with this movie. I think Jack O'Connell gives a great performance in it, and yeah, just an entertaining movie. Next up, we have Hell or High Water, which is a fantastic modern western, I guess you could call it. Yeah, just a really great movie. The performances are fantastic. I find it a struggle to tell what Jeff Bridges says in this movie sometimes, though, to be fair. It can be quite hard to tell what he's saying, but overall it is a fantastic film. Wow, so many flipping movies here. Next up we have The Truman Show, which is maybe my favourite Jim Carrey movie. It's really hard to choose between this and Dumb and Dumber, but this film is just so good, really creative and unique. And I really enjoyed watching this movie. Just had a great time with it. Next up, we have Slumdog Millionaire, which I believe won an Oscar for Best Picture, and this is also directed by Danny Boyle. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard fantastic films. I've been recommended. This one's been recommended to me so many times, so we'll definitely get round to it. Next up, we have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which is a great movie. The chemistry between Paul Newman and Robert Redford's character is absolutely fantastic in this movie. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the story, and it's a fantastic time. Next up, we have Patriot Games, which is definitely my favourite of the Jack Ryan stories. Yeah, this film's just fantastic. The action in it is fantastic. And yeah, Harrison Ford is great as he always is in every movie. And yeah, this film is just such a classic. Next up, we have 24-Hour Party People, which is a really entertaining movie, sort of about music that was set in Manchester, I believe, and it's all set around that. And yeah, it's just a really entertaining time. There's some great bands and great music on this. I believe it's got a New Order song in this movie, and also obviously forgotten their name. Happy Mondays that's it. It got a few songs on there as well. 24-Hour Party People being probably the most famous one, obviously. But yeah, great time. We got The Disaster Artist, which is a film I've yet to see. I still need to see The Room as well, actually. But this is obviously sort of like a spoof of the movie The Room, and apparently this film's actually meant to be really good. So yeah, definitely looking forward to watching it. Next up, we have Double Impact, which is one of my favourite Jean-Claude Van Damme films. This is just such a fantastic movie, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. The action in it is great. And Bolo Young is a great villain in this movie. Yeah, just really, really great Van Damme movie there. I think we got a troll in the comments. We'll just delete block troll. Sorry about that, everyone. Next up we have Dark City Director's Cut. This is a fantastic movie. One of the most underrated sci-fi movies that I have seen. The story to this is really interesting, and I thought it was really well told. But yeah, this film is also a lot of fun as well. And yeah, if you haven't seen this, I would definitely recommend it. What a film! Next up, we have Layer Cake, which is an entertaining British movie. This one, I do have a great time with it, and this is one of Daniel Craig's first movies. So yeah, there's that. This was sort of like, I believe this came out before his first Bond movie, so this was sort of like his big breakthrough movie. But yeah, great time that one. Next up, we have The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is a entertaining movie. I do enjoy this movie. It's not one of my favourites, but it is a decent movie. Next up, we have The Birdcage, which is a really entertaining movie. One of my favourite Robin Williams films, really underrated. So funny as well. I really have a great time with this movie. So yeah, would recommend that one. Let's go into some more comments. Try and find where I was before. Where was I? I think I was there. And we got a monkey saying, Pete, what size neck are you for your collar? The wife would want to know. We got Michael Parker saying this is an amazing never-ending collection, mate. Kudos, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. We got Pete saying really impressive collection, mate. Probably this is how I should show off my collection. I would definitely be down to see that, Pete. I would definitely be watching that if you do decide to show off your collection, definitely. And thank you as well, mate. Do appreciate that. Got Pete saying I don't know, monkey. I'll pop into Pets at Home tomorrow for my collar size. We got Buddy Tennant say don't say that in front of Tree and his missus. We got a monkey saying that's who would want to know Buddy Tennant. We got Going North saying that's a great idea, Pete. Better than just doing a video showing your collection. Yeah, definitely, I agree. I'll definitely be down to see that, Pete. We got Pete saying I have a decent sized neck, I suppose, never thought of it. We got Patty Tennant saying perverts, your bloody perverts. Yes, that is true. We got Traction Star saying the wife keeps me on a tight leash, shall I say. We got Pretender Guy Pete saying thanks Gary would be less hassle than editing and filming. Maybe it could be part of a 24-hour stream. Wow, that would be awesome. Definitely. We got a monkey saying that's why I mentioned the collar feathers. We got Pete saying the chat is very heated tonight. It definitely is, my friends. We got Rhodey saying I would have ended the stream at Clerks personally. Fair enough. We got Pete saying Butch Cassidy is fantastic. It definitely is, Pete. I do agree with that, my friend. We got True Action Star saying Kirk's Free was emotional. I did hear that was meant to be quite emotional, to be fair. I have heard really good things about it. We got True Action Star saying we are all clean here. We got Monkey saying, Pete, after a wife, your myelin is heated or sore and branded. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, haven't seen Clerks 3 yet, any good? We got Rhodey saying, oh yes it was, I thought you'd say that, to be fair, Rhodey. Got Rhodey saying, I loved it, but critics hates, so no worries, Rhodey, there's a lot of films you're going to like that the critics won't like. True Action Star saying it was decent, surprised it talked about death. We got Iwan Frankus here. Hello, mate. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Saying you're in a layer cake now, son. We got Matt saying, sorry, mate, I missed that. No worries, Matt, that's fine. I was making a brew. True Action Star, you have the power to remove comments, mate, just so you know. Yes, he definitely does. But yeah, no worries if anyone misses anything, that's fine. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, sing Clerks 1 and 2, more rats. And we're from with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon as Angels, whose titles escape me at the moment, so we'll have to watch it eventually. Oh, awesome. We got Lisa Lee saying, hi, hello, mate, thank you for joining. We got True Action Star saying, oh, right, I saw this banner, thanks to Matt. Got Monkey saying, Lisa. Got Pete saying, I like Dogman, but no Blu-ray release over here. That is a shame. Yeah, well, I haven't seen that film, to be honest, but I've heard it's pretty good. We got Rhodey saying, Dogma to Bad Lieutenant. We got Matt saying, that's okay, mate. I thought I'd let you know anything that seems suspicious or hateful, please remove it ASAP. Yeah, definitely, that'd be much appreciated, everyone. We got Lisa saying, do you have pets? I do it the same as Mickey Mouse. No, I don't have any pets, actually, surprisingly. We got True Action Star saying, okay, that's the best thing to be. Always have a laugh and be positive. Yes, definitely, you agree with that, True Action Star. And let's go into some more movies, shall we? Next up, we got the Pokemon trilogy, which I actually really enjoyed these films. The first and third one are definitely my two favourites. The second one is my least favourite, but still an entertaining movie. But yeah, I don't have loads to say on these films, but they are just so entertaining. Next up, we have the Basket Case trilogy, which I don't know much about, unfortunately, but I have heard that the first movie is really, really good, so I am definitely looking forward to checking it out. Next up, we have Fighting With My Family, which is a really underrated movie, actually. I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's a really great film, sort of about Paige's life, the WWE wrestler. And yeah, this is really funny and entertaining at times as well, to be fair. Do enjoy this one. Next up, we have With Now and I, which is a classic British movie. I really like the setting of this movie, sort of that setting like fields and that. It's yeah, just such a great British feel to it, and I love that about it. And yeah, this film is just classic. Absolutely love it. Next up, we have Team America Roll the Place. America, fuck yeah! This film is just nuts. It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah, this film's mad, but I do really enjoy this film. Yeah, really great film. I'm gonna go through some more comments. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, thanks to Potendo Guy and Rhodey on this. I really like that film. Got Lisa saying, true there is Walt Disney. Got Lisa saying, hello, how's it going today, Bo? I'm doing very well, thank you. Got Bad Lieutenant saying, forgot Jay and Silent Bob. Favourite scene out of all those movies is Jay doing his Buffalo Bill dance. I haven't seen that film actually, so I can't comment, but yeah, I've heard this one to be quite funny, to be fair. Got Bad Lieutenant saying, hello, Lisa, it's been the usual full fest with a few film chats in between. Yeah, definitely. Next up, we got Pete saying, I didn't mind Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, so bad it's good. Yeah, definitely. We got Rhodey saying, this live stream has really cheered me up. Thank you so much, Rhodey. Really appreciate that, my friend. We got Lisa Lee saying, can you sound as Mickey Mouse? No, definitely not. I'm not doing a Mickey Mouse impression. We got Pete saying, oh, Pokemon Blu-ray pack. That's so cool. Yeah, definitely. I love those movies as well, to be fair. Really entertaining. We got the monkey saying, chasing Amy is amazing to watch. His wife would agree. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, hello, Pluto. We got Pretender Guy Pete saying, chasing Amy is incredible. I have heard really good things about that movie. I really do want to check that film out, and yeah, very great things about it. But let's get into some more movies. Next up, we have Mars Attacks, which is absolutely incredible comedy from the 90s. Really enjoyed watching this one. The cast in this is fantastic. You got Pierce Brosnan and Jack Nicholson. Who else you got in this? Annette Bening and Danny DeVito, just to name a few. And yeah, I believe this is directed by Tim Burton as well, and this is one of my favourite films of his. Just a really fun time, this movie. Have a great time with it. Next up, we've got Sleeping with the Enemy, which is a really good movie. I did really enjoy this film. Julia Roberts gives a fantastic performance in this, and I enjoyed the story as well. So yeah, great film, that one. Next up, we have 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later, which was which are two really great films. Both of them, I believe, are directed by Danny Boyle. And yeah, I think I slightly prefer the sequel. Actually, I think the first movie is definitely a better made movie, but I think I prefer the sequel just because it's more fun and it has some really entertaining action in it as well. Whereas the first one definitely feels a bit more grounded, that's for sure. But two great films there. Next up, we have The Crying Game, which is an amazing film, really hard to watch at times and really emotional as well. But such a well-made movie, and yeah, really enjoyed that one. I'm going to go into a few more comments again. We got the monkey saying, in Chasing Amy, even Kevin Smith has to turn down a freeway verbally. We got Lisa Lee saying, read more comments. I will definitely get through as many comments as I can, but I do have a lot of movies here, so it is kind of difficult to read through all the comments and do go through with all the films at the same time as well. But I will get through as many comments as I can, definitely. We got Traction Star says, Team America, fuck yeah, yeah, definitely, mate. We got Matt saying, fighting with my family is quality. It's even better when you love WWE. Definitely 100% agree with that. Got Bad Lieutenant saying, ducka, ducka, ducka. We got Matt saying, America, fuck yeah. Everyone's doing it now. Got your Action Star saying, basketball is a great one too from South Park lads. Oh, I've not watched that actually, but I've heard this is going to be pretty fun. We got Matt saying Florence P made a great page. Definitely did. I 100% agree with that. We got Bad Lieutenant saying love that pussy sticks in arsehole speech in Team America. Yeah, that line was definitely interesting, that's for sure. We got Pete saying my dad always thought Team America was Thunderbirds until he watched it. Yeah, it's definitely not Thunderbirds. We got Rhodey saying how long will this stream last? Honestly, I have no idea. I've got 5 stacks left, so it'd probably go on for another hour and a half or so, I'd say, or something like that. We got Gary saying Sleeping with the Enemy, great movie, definitely, I do agree there. Got your Action Star saying Crying Game superb, but yes, definitely 100% agree with that. And let's get into some more films. Next up, you have Starred Up, which is really brutal and violent British prison drama movie. This is actually a really well made film, but I was really taken back by some of the violence in this film. It does not hold back, that's for sure. But yeah, it is still a great movie and it has some good performances in it. Next up, we have Raising Cain, which wasn't for me. Unfortunately, I found this movie to be a bit bland and a bit weird, but it's quite interesting, the story, to be fair, but it just didn't work for me, unfortunately. Next up, we have The Rock, which is probably my favourite Michael Bay movie. I do have a great time with this film. I think that Sean Connery is absolutely excellent in it, and obviously Nicolas Cage as well. And yeah, it's just a classic, isn't it? Next up, we have Casualties of War, which is one of my favourite war movies of all time. This film is so good. I absolutely adore this film. It's directed by Brian De Palma as well. And yeah, it's just such a great film. The performances in it are fantastic. Sean Penn character is evil as fuck in this film though. This is really hard to watch in some scenes, I will say that, but it is really powerful as well. So yeah, if you haven't seen this before, I would highly recommend it. Next up, we have Donnie Darko, which is a really good movie. It's definitely a very strange movie, this, but I enjoyed it for what it was, even if I didn't fully understand it. But Jake Gyllenhaal was great in it, and yeah, I do enjoy this movie. Next up, we have Fargo, which is a really fantastic 90s movie. It's probably my favourite Coen Brothers movie. I think this is probably my favourite of theirs. And yeah, the performances are fantastic. And Frances McDormand, she is unbelievable in this film. Yeah, it's such a great movie, this one. Next up, we have Zodiac, which is directed by David Fincher, and there's go some more movies. And yeah, this is a fantastic. Actually, no, I haven't seen this movie yet, but I've heard nothing but great things. Obviously, it's about the Zodiac killer, and yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's in this movie, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. So we'll give this movie a go. Next up, we have Rain Man, which is a fantastic movie, one of my all-time favourites. I think that Dustin Hoffman's performance in this is fantastic. This is a really emotional and moving story, has a lot of heart to it as well. And Tom Cruise is fantastic in it as well. So yeah, fantastic movie. Next up, we have Parasite, which is such a great movie. I really enjoyed this one. I think the story is fantastic. Probably one of my favourite Korean movies as well. The cinematography in it is stunning, and it's just such a well made and well directed movie. So yeah, great movie, that one. Next up, we have Men of Honor, which is a really fantastic movie. Bob De Niro gives a fantastic performance in this movie, even though he is a kind of a racist prick in this film. But his performance is fantastic, though. And Cuba Gooding Jr. is really great in this film. He's a really inspirational character in this film, that's for sure. And yeah, I just have a great time with this movie. So yeah, would recommend this one. Next up, we have Screamers, which is a really underrated horror movie starring Peter Weller. This sort of reminds me of Starship Troopers a bit. They both have similar vibes. And yeah, this is just so entertaining. I have a great time with this one. Next up, we have The Lobster, which I have never seen, but I have been recommended it a few times. I've heard this is meant to be really messed up and really weird, so I am looking forward to checking this out. Next up, we have $1 Million Baby, which is a really great and realistic boxing movie directed by Clint Eastwood. Yeah, this is such a fantastic movie, really well made, and yeah, it's a really entertaining time, that one. Go into some more comments. We got Bad Lieutenant saying to True, thought we squeaks Kalari, your mum's still. Your mum's death side count was awesome. The monkey saying all depends on the size of the tool, to be honest. We got to be completely honest, Roddy saying that took me so long to process. We got Bad Lieutenant saying bloody weird film but very watchable. Oh, great question. This to action star saying, how many films have you got, Scott? Honestly, I'm not too sure because the last time I counted my films, I think it was in 2019, and I think I've got maybe over 600 films since then or something like that. But a random estimate, I'd probably say about 1,500 or maybe 1,600, something like that. Got Lisa Lee saying hi, hello. Got the monkey saying that's not the fight time I've been told that I hear quite often. We got Lisa Lee saying, hey, you put me on timeout. I'm not too sure, to be honest. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, like, material born killers and natural romance. I'm assuming you mean natural born killers. True romance, yeah, definitely. That's a fantastic film. Got Lisa Lee saying, T-Bar, I think that means thank you. We got Lisa Lee saying, no, please, I'm sorry, no need to apologise, that's fine. We got Bad Lieutenant saying typo natural. We got the monkey saying, how do you know I was capped at too? We got Bad Lieutenant saying, what films are on your Blu-ray wants list? I want to get My Bodyguard, which was directed by Tony Bill, which was the same director who directed Untamed Heart, which is an absolutely brilliant movie, one of my favourites. And yeah, I just really want to watch that film. And I also really want to get the Criterion of Come and See, because I've heard that's meant to be one of the greatest war films ever, so I've got to check that out. You got True Action Star saying, do you think 4K is worth a jump? Yeah, I would say it is worth it. There are some films which don't look great in 4K, but overall I think it is definitely worth a jump for a lot of movies. I think The Shining looks amazing in 4K, definitely would upgrade that one. Scarface as well looks absolutely stunning, and also even though it is quite expensive, but the 4K set of Dawn of the Dead looks great as well. But let's go into some more movies. And next up we have Strange Days, which I remember this being very weird. I didn't understand this movie at all, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's directed by Catherine Bigelow, who's a good director, but this movie just wasn't for me at all, unfortunately. Next up we have The Gentleman, which is a really great I've forgotten his fucking name. Guy Ritchie movie. Yeah, this film is really excellent. One of my favourites of his. Has some great humour in it. The writing is on point in this film, and yeah, the cast in it is fantastic as well. Just great. Next up, we have Chef, which is a really great movie about a chef, and yeah, it's really entertaining, and this film will definitely make you feel hungry after watching it, that's for sure. And yeah, this film's actually quite funny as well, to be fair. Next up, we have Fury, which is an excellent war movie. I really enjoyed this film. Brad Pitt is excellent in it. Has some great action in it as well, and yeah, it's just a really well made film, this one. Next up, we have Southern Comfort, which is one of the most underrated films I think I've ever seen. I don't hear many people talk about this movie at all, but this film is so good. I absolutely adore this film. The scenery and the sets, the cinematography, all that looks absolutely stunning, and some of the shots just look excellent. The performances are fantastic, and it's directed by Rod Field again, who is one of my favourite directors. So yeah, really great movie, this one. Definitely check out if you haven't seen it yet. Next up, we have Patriot, which is fantastic. Mel Gibson is great in this film. The story's really entertaining. Has a fantastic score from what I remember as well. And yeah, this just has a really epic feel to it. It's a really sort of like epic battle movie, and I have a great time with this one. Next up, we have Verdict, which I really don't know much about, but I've heard really great things about it. It stars Paul Newman in it, who's a fantastic actor, so we'll definitely look forward to checking that film out. Next up, we have The Colour Purple, which I haven't seen, unfortunately, but I've heard this is going to be one of Steven Spielberg's more underrated movies. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this film, so we'll definitely watch this one. Next up, we have Rambo, which is one of the most unapologetically most brutal and violent action movies I've ever seen. And it is flipping awesome. I absolutely love this movie. Sylvester Stallone is badass in this film. And yeah, just such a great entry into the franchise. Next up, we've got Short Circuit, which is a film that I wasn't too keen on, unfortunately. Although I didn't grow up with this movie, I only watched this for the first time a couple of years ago. It's still quite a charming movie. It does have some entertainment value in it, and I really like Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy in it. But other than that, this film just didn't really connect with me for some reason, unfortunately. Next up, we have Passenger 57, which is a really fun and entertaining action movie. This is a really great movie and has some great one-liners in it, and Wesley Snipes is fantastic. Next up, we have Knives Out, which is such a great little whodunit story. This film is really suspenseful and keeps you on the edge of your seat until the very end. And yeah, it's just a great film. And Daniel Craig's accent in it is also class as well, even if it is very weird. We got next up, we got Kramer versus Kramer, which is one of my favourite movies from the 70s. I guess you could say this is basically the original Marriage Story, and yeah, this film's just so great. Really enjoy this movie. Next up, we have the 2005 version of War of the Worlds starring Tom Cruise. And I actually don't mind this film. I think it's a little underrated. I think it's very entertaining. Doesn't do anything spectacular, but I have a fun time with this movie for what it is. Next up, we have Under Fire, which is a film I was not too keen on, unfortunately. Has a really good cast in it. Nolte is a fantastic actor, one of my favourites. But yeah, I just couldn't connect to this movie. I can't really remember too much about it, to be fair. Next up, we have Ray, which is obviously the biopic of Ray Charles's life, and this film is really, really good. The singing in this film is fantastic. The music's fantastic, and obviously the acting from what's his name, Jamie Foxx as Ray. Flipping out, my memory's so bad at a minute, but Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles is absolutely fantastic. Next up, we have Manhunter, which is an absolutely incredible film directed by Michael Mann. This is very similar to Red Dragon. This is basically a very similar story to that movie, but I do really enjoy this movie, and yeah, it's a great time. Next up, we have Cool Hand Luke, which is a fantastic prison movie. Has a great performance by Paul Newman, and it is a really great 60s movie. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Probably the most classic line from that movie. Absolutely adore that film. Next up, we have a Magnificent Seven remake. Have yet to see this and the original movie, but I've heard very good things about it, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go. And next up, we have Face Off, which is an absolute classic. I like to take his face off. Yes, I absolutely adore this movie. It is really silly and over the top, but some of the action in it is fantastic, and has some fantastic one-liners as well. Nicolas Cage in this film is so good. Like, he's so over the top, and I absolutely love it. Next up, we have The Sorcerer, which is directed by William Friedkin, which I've heard is a really good movie, but I'm actually not a massive fan of this director, unfortunately, which is why I haven't seen this movie yet, but I will get around to watching it definitely at some point. Next up, we have Sleeping Dogs, which I've heard really good things about. I think it's about Sam Neill being a teacher in a school or something, if I remember correctly. I think that's what I've heard. But yeah, haven't seen it unfortunately, but we'll get round to watching it at some point. Next up, we have The Incredibles 2, and there go some more movies. And yeah, this is a really entertaining sequel. Actually, I really enjoyed this movie. Not as good as first, obviously, but still an entertaining time for what it was. And next up, we have Tenebrae, which is a really cool film directed by Dario Argento, probably one of his most popular and iconic movies. But it's not my favourite of his. I just think it's a little bit weird, but the score is really good, and some of the kills in it are really, really good, to be fair. But yeah, not my favourite Dario Argento film, but still a good time. Next up, we have Outlaw, which is a good British movie. Has a good cast. We've got Bob Hoskins, who's a really underrated actor. He's such a good actor. I believe it's got Danny Dyer in it as well. Yeah, who's also good in this film, and Sean Bean is great as always. Yeah, remember this one being quite entertaining actually. Next up, we have The Monster Squad, which is such an entertaining movie. This sort of gets compared to like the horror version of the Goonies, which I can completely see. It's so fun seeing all these classic horror icons like Dracula and Frankenstein in this movie. This is just such a fun horror comedy from the 80s. I absolutely adore it. Next up, we have A Long Kiss Good Night, which is a really entertaining action movie. And the performances in this are fantastic. Samuel Jackson is really funny in this movie, as always. And Gina Davis is one of my favourite actresses. She's incredible in this film. And yeah, the action in it is really good as well. Next up, we have a film called Wanted, which is quite an entertaining movie, actually. I have a good time with this one. Yeah, the performances are really good, and the story is quite entertaining. Yeah, just have a fun time with it. Next up, we have Brightburn, which has an excellent concept. I really like the concept of this movie. Sort of if Superman was evil, which is really a cool idea. Unfortunately, I think it was the execution was not great. I think it could have been executed a little bit better, but I still had a good time with this movie, and it was quite creepy in parts. Next up, we have The Joker, which is a very controversial film these days. I feel like you either love or hate this movie, but personally, I really, really liked this film. I can understand the flaw. I get the flaws. There's definitely flaws in this movie, and I can understand why some people dislike it. But I still had a great time with this movie, and Joaquin Phoenix is excellent as a Joker. Next up, we have The Fifth Estate, which is a true story about the WikiLeaks, if I remember correctly. I remember this actually being quite interesting, and I did have a good time watching this movie. I haven't seen it in a very long time though, so we'll have to give this film a go. Another watch, shall I say. Next up, we have Inglourious Basterds, directed by Quentin Tarantino, of course. I would say this is one of my favourite movies of his, definitely. Really great movie. The cinematography and writing and all directing and all the filmmaking aspects to this film is on point. I just absolutely adore this film, and has some excellent performances in it as well. Next up, we have the Scorpion King collection. I've heard that these films are not great, but I own them, so there's that. I would definitely have to check these films out at some point just to see what all the fuss is about. Next up, we have Looper, which is a really great modern sci-fi movie, sort of time loop movie. I really enjoyed the story. Thought it was really interesting, and yeah, I love time loop movies, and I thought this was a really good one. So if you do like your time loop movies, I'll definitely recommend giving this a go. But let's get into some more comments, as it's been a little while since I've gone through the comments. And we got the monkey saying, Scott, what 5 films bring you most joy and the most sorrow? Wow, that is a really good question there, mate. Most joy, I would say, definitely the original Dawn of the Dead, without a doubt. I really enjoy watching that movie. Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 are definitely both in that list. I love watching those movies so much. fuck, that's a tough question. Maybe the original Karate Kid. I do have a lot of fun watching that movie as well. What childhood classics did I go up watching as well? Maybe I'm struggling to answer that one. To be fair, that's a difficult question. Grease is another great one. To be fair, I really enjoy watching Grease. Most sorrow though, I'm not too sure. I'll come back to you on that one. So sorry there. Hopefully that's good answer for that question though. I've got Matt saying, have you got the Criterion of a Breakfast Club, Scott? I haven't actually, but I really love that movie. To be fair, it's one of my favourite movies from the 80s, so I'd love to get it definitely. Got Bad Lieutenant say, why was Lisa Lee benched? I'm not too sure, to be honest. We got a monkey. Oh, saying true, done it. No worries, true. But the monkey saying I'd be silent on this one. Bad Lieutenant, I'm respectful of Lisa. We got Bad Lieutenant said, sorry, still don't get it, mate. Could you give me a hint? It seemed like innocent banter to me. Yeah, definitely. Monkey said everyone be respectful, Lisa. Yeah, we definitely will, Monkey, definitely. We got Bad Lieutenant saying we got a Monkey saying my favourite. We got One Real Nerd saying, hello my friend, hello mate, hope you're doing well. We got your action star saying, oh sorry, she was blocked before and I thought it was an alternative account. No worries, True Action Stars. It happens. We got your action star saying many apologies, it's absolutely fine, don't worry about it. We got Matt saying, I think maybe but because of a bit more comments, it seemed like it could have been trolling behaviour when Scott was doing his best. Thank you, Matt, do appreciate that. But yeah, this is alright. Bad Lieutenant said, no problemo, true. I'm pretty new to this cape. Matt says mistakes can happen. Yes, they definitely can. I do agree. And we got Monkey saying capers are pretty tasty. We got True Action Star saying thanks for understanding. No worries, my friend. We got True Action Star saying Scott in a Face Off remake. Yes, please. Well, that would be interesting, that's for sure. We got True Action Star saying, have you got Broken Arrow? I have. And talking of Broken Arrow, that's actually the next film I've got to talk about. So what a coincidence. Yeah, this film is excellent. Really good action movie directed by John Woo. John Travolta gives an absolutely hilarious performance in this movie. You could tell he's having an absolute blast as a villain. And yeah, this movie is just so much fun. And of course, it's got Christian Slater in it, who's one of my favourite actors ever. So there's that as well. We got a monkey say better than a broken arrow in the ass. Got going north saying Team Bay is awesome. I'm glad you enjoy it, mate. We got Bad Lieutenant saying for me his best film with Profondo Rosso and Suspiria close second. Awesome choices there, my friend. Suspiria would be my favourite, to be fair. We got Steve saying Manhunter is a very good film. Definitely, I 100% agree with that, Steve. We got True Action Star saying Long Kiss is brilliant. Yes, definitely, I love that film. We got Bad Lieutenant saying prefer it to Red Dragon, to be honest. Yeah, I honestly prefer it over Red Dragon as well, to be fair. We got the monkey saying all long kisses off Lieutenant. True Action Star said to wife gives long kisses. And we got a monkey saying hear that, Pete. We got Steve saying Tenebrae classic video nasty, indeed it is. We got Steve Bad Lieutenant saying Steve also likes the animal trilogy, Bird, Flies and Cat. True Action Star said, yeah, money, be busy all night long. We got Steve saying same here. We got True Action Star saying very upbeat stream, love it. Yes, definitely, 100% agree with that. That's what we like to see, True Action Star. And let's get into some more movies. Next up, we've got Dunkirk, which is a really well made war movie. I think that Christopher Nolan did a great job directing this movie. There isn't a lot of dialogue in this movie, admittedly, which can be sort of lacking in the character development for this film, but I still had a great time watching this at the cinema, and looking forward to rewatching it. Next up, we have an absolute classic movie, which is One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest. Jack Nicholson gives one of his best performances, in my opinion, in this movie. He's absolutely terrific in this movie, and yeah, this film is just absolutely incredible. Has a really emotional ending from what I remember as well. Next up, we have Over the Top, which is fantastic. One of my favourites today movies. I have an absolute blast with this film, and yeah, the arm wrestling scenes are fantastic. I know that a lot of people say this would just be like a Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling movie, but I have a lot of fun with it myself personally. I can see why people dislike it, as it's a lot of it is just arm wrestling, but there's a lot of great stuff to this movie as well. Yeah, what a film. Next up we have Lock Up, which is another really great Sylvester Stallone movie. Wouldn't mind picking this up on 4K actually, because I've read this one look pretty good. Yeah, this is a great prison movie from the late 80s. Sylvester Stallone's fantastic in this movie, and yeah, it's just a really entertaining movie, this one. Next up, we have Midsummer, which is also one of my least favourite movies, unfortunately. Really sorry, everyone. But this movie is just not for me at all. I really couldn't connect to a story. I thought it was really pretentious, and I did find this movie to be quite boring as well. It is unique and different, I will admit that, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of it, unfortunately. Next up, we have Monkey Shines, which is a really interesting slasher movie directed by George A. Romero. But yeah, this film's quite entertaining, and I did enjoy this film. It's not amazing, but it is good. Next up, we have Bullet in the Head, which I've heard is a really underrated John Woo movie. I'm very much looking forward to checking this one out at some point. Yeah, I heard nothing but great things about it, so definitely looking forward to watching it, that's for sure. Next up, we have Hard Boiled, which is another John Woo movie I'm yet to see. And I've heard this film is just absolutely mental, and some of the action scenes do look pretty fire, to be fair. They do look absolutely badass, so I cannot wait to check this movie out. Next up, we have Salvador, which is a movie I have seen and remember literally absolutely nothing about this film. I remember not enjoying it very much, but James Woods is in this film, so there's a positive, because I do like James Woods quite a lot as an actor. But yeah, I just don't remember much about it, in all honesty. Next up, we have Leaving Las Vegas, which is a very entertaining 90s movie. Do enjoy this one. Nicolas Cage is very entertaining in this movie, that's for sure. Elizabeth Shue is great in it as well, and yeah, just have a great fun time with this one. Next up, we have Anger Management, which is a very funny comedy movie. It's not a great film, this. It's definitely dated, but I remember the ending being quite clever, and yeah, it is quite entertaining, to be fair. I do have a good time with that one. Next up, we have Bowfinger, which is not very funny at all for me, unfortunately. It's probably one of my least favourite comedies from the late 90s, I want to say. But yeah, it's got Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin in it, who are two actors I absolutely adore, so I thought this would be hilarious, but unfortunately it wasn't very funny at all. Next up, we have The Colour of Money, which is I've heard is a really good film. I believe this is sort of a sequel to The Hustler, I believe, but I haven't seen that either, so I can't really comment. But I do love the two actors in this movie, so definitely looking forward to watching it. Next up, we have 4K restoration of Zombie Flesh Eaters with a lenticular slip cover. That is awesome. And yeah, this film is absolutely class. Still has some of the best gore scenes that I've ever seen in a film, and I think that the gore still holds up to this day, all these years later. And that Splinter scene is absolutely horrific. probably one of the best deaths you'll see in a movie, but so horrific. But yeah, I love this film. One of my favourite zombie films, and maybe is my favourite video nasty. It's between this and A Burning, but this is a great film. Next up, we have The Dogs of War, which I don't really know too much about in all honesty, but I love the cover of this film. Yeah, I've heard that it's a decent movie, so I'm looking forward to watching it. And let's go through some more comments. Got Bad Lieutenant saying Steve gave up on Argento in the mid-80s, never got on with Phenomena and opera, etc. That's fair enough, mate. He's not to everybody's taste, that's for sure. We got True Action Star Dale's on saying I need to see more Argento. He is a very good filmmaker, I will say that's for sure. We got Bad Lieutenant saying his best stuff is his earlier stuff from about 1970 to 85. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We got Steve says, yeah, I hear you, buddy, to Bad Lieutenant. We got the monkey saying, True Action Star, I'd like to offer you and your wife an interview on my channel. And she can be the man star on my channel as well. If you tell her about, she says yes, I'll have Pete to co-host. Awesome. And we got True Action Star saying, sounds good to me, monkey. The wife would love having a nutter. It'd be like Take Me On. Her light will always be on for trades and take on it. We got True Action Star saying, Knock Up is amazing. It definitely is. I absolutely love that film. We got Bad Lieutenant saying it's like my favourite director, Abel Ferreira. His films from Nine Lives of a Wet Pussy to New Rose Hotel are mostly really good, but his post 2000 films have been sketchy at best. We got True Action Star said Midsummer, the awful film with the beautiful Florence Pugh. Yeah, definitely. Florence Pugh does give a great performance in it though. We got Gary saying the movie Bad Boys with Sean Penn is a great prison film. I have heard really good things about that actually, and I believe Steve in the chat is a big fan of it. We got Lisa Lee saying hi, hello again. We got Bad Lieutenant saying I demand to absent poos. We got True Action Star saying hi Lisa, sorry about before. We got True Action Star saying Bowfinger is a classic. Love Steve and Eddie together. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. True Action Star just wasn't for me, unfortunately. And we got Danny. This is my life here. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. And we got Josh here saying that he's back. Thank you for joining again, Josh. Do appreciate it. And we got Bad Lieutenant saying hi to Lisa. Lisa's saying hello. Saying that it's cool. And we got True Action Star saying me and my wife are off now. I'm going to watch something on TV or Sky. Depends what she wants. Okay, no worries, True Action Star. Thank you for watching. Lisa Lee says with Dodge of Wars. I'm guessing you're not a fan of that movie. We got True Action Star says hopefully we'll get some action later if you get what I mean. Oh dear. We got the monkey saying you can find me on Instagram to schedule it and your wife can have the pleasure of letting Pete know when. We got Josh saying what's going on. He's confused as everyone. We got True Action Star saying night everyone, have a nice weekend. Night True Action Star, thank you so much for joining me, mate. We do appreciate it. Got True Action Star saying I have to get in touch, monkey. What is your Instagram page called? We got this is my life saying that Danny saying how have you been? I've been very well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for asking, mate. I've been doing very good. We got Lisa Lee saying that's crazy. We got Steve saying Zombie Fresh is in my top 3 zombie flicks. Awesome, Steve. Yes, I think it's in my top 3 as well, to be fair. I would have that as my third favourite behind Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. We got True Action Star saying take care, we'll watch rest later. Thank you so much for joining True Action Star. I do appreciate it and have a good evening. We got Bad Lieutenant saying Zombie, Dawn and Day of the Dead for me. Yep, we have the same list there, Bad Lieutenant. We got Monkey saying what his YouTube channel name is. We got Lisa Lee saying True Action Star Vidal. How did you put me in a timeout for? We got Sophie saying Hey Scott, do you have a certain way of organising your films? No, I don't. In all honesty, thank you for joining, Sophie. By the way, good to see you here. I have absolutely no way of organising any of my films. To be honest, I don't organise any of them. Got Bad Lieutenant saying hello to Sophie. We got Lisa Lee. Can you sound like Donald Duck? Probably not. I can't even remember what he sounds like, to be honest. We got Lisa Lee saying, have you been to Spirit Halloween? I haven't, but I have heard really good things about it. We'd like to go at some point. And with that being said, let's get into some more films. Next up, we have Risky Business, which I've heard is absolutely fantastic. I love Tom Cruise as an actor. I do plan to check this one out soon. I've heard this is a fun time. Next up, we have Solo Star Wars Story, which is a film I still need to see. I've heard that this is actually quite an entertaining Star Wars movie, so I'm looking forward to watching this one soon. Next up, we have The Birth of a Nation, which is not a very popular movie, and I can understand why. But I did like this movie. I thought it was a well-made movie, but it is definitely hard to watch, that's for sure. But yeah, it is a good movie. Next up, we have, if I can get it, Zombie Strippers, which is a very interesting movie, that's for sure. Jenna Jameson's good in this film. Yeah, I don't have loads to say about this film. In all honesty, I don't think there's much you can really say about a film that called Zombie Strippers. But yeah, it's entertaining, I guess. Next up, we have The Relic, which is a really good film from the late 90s, horror film, and Tom Sizemore is really good in this. Some of the effects don't hold up well at all, though I will say, and it does look dated now. But I still had a really good time with it and thought it was really entertaining. Next up, we have Hills Have Eyes remake, which is an absolutely brilliant remake. Has some really gory and nasty scenes in this movie. Some really good brutal kills. And yeah, I have had a really great time with this one. Thought it was a really good remake. Next up, we have The Cable Guy, which I know a lot of people not a fan of this film, which I can see why. It's definitely a different style to what Jim Carrey's normally used to. But I love this movie, I can't lie, I absolutely adore it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And this film just cracks me up, it is so funny. Next up, we have Small Soldiers, which is a very entertaining movie. Is it with Dr. Knights? I think they are excellent toy moving toys in this movie. I do get a great kick out of this movie. I didn't grow up watching it, but when I watched it, I still had a blast with it. I wish I had watched it when I was a kid though, because I'm sure I'd have watched it many times when I was younger. Next up, we have 10 Cloverfield Lane. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this movie. I haven't heard a single person say a bad thing about it. Unfortunately, I have not seen it yet, but I will definitely get around to watching it as ASAP. I've heard fantastic things. Next up, we have Dinner in America, which is a really underrated and really fun comedy movie on the Arrow video label. I absolutely loved this movie. I thought the story was quite interesting and a lot of fun. And yeah, this film is just such a great laugh. I have a great time with it. Next up, we have A Secret of My Success, which is a really fun and entertaining comedy movie starring Michael J. Fox, who's a really likable character as always. He was such a fantastic actor, and yeah, this film is just so great. Next up, we have Life of Pi, which is a really well-made movie. I think the cinematography is absolutely stunning in this film, and the directing is really good as well. A really tense movie at times as well, and yeah, it is a really enjoyable movie, and I would definitely recommend it. Next up, we have Dark Places, which is actually quite a decent movie, sort of a decent thriller. It's done by the same author as done Gone Girl, and they're pretty similar in terms of the stories. And yeah, this is a decent movie. I enjoyed it. Next up, we have Detroit, which is an amazing movie. It is really hard to watch at times, and some of the stuff that goes on in it is really nasty. But the performances in it are absolutely fantastic, and it is a really well made movie. Next up, we have The Wild Bunch, which I've heard is a really good western from the 60s. Don't know too much about it, but I'm looking forward to watching it. Next up, we have Ready or Not, which was one of my favourite horror comedy movies. I had a great time with this one. Thought the story was so much fun, and Samara Weaving was so funny in this film at times as well. She gave a fantastic performance, and yeah, I just had a great time watching this movie. Next up, we have the original Hills Have Eyes, which is it's an okay film. I'm not a massive fan of it, to be honest. I think it is. It does move at a snail's pace at times, to be fair, but it's still entertaining. I had a good time with it, but it's not great. Next up, we have a film called Pig, which is a really good Nicolas Cage film. I thought this was a really good movie. I thought his performance in it was absolutely incredible. Nicolas Cage proved that he can act in this movie. I've always really rated him as an actor anyway, but I thought his performance in this movie was absolutely brilliant. Next up, we have Basketball Diaries, which I was actually a little disappointed when I first watched this movie. I was expecting to really, really like this film. I was heard amazing things about it before watching it, and I still had a good time with it, but I didn't love it, unfortunately. It just didn't do too much for me, unfortunately, but it is still a decent time. Next up, we have the original Nosferatu, which is an all-time classic. I believe this is the first vampire film ever made, and yeah, has a really iconic scene which everyone's probably seen by now when he crawls up the stairs, which is quite creepy actually. And yeah, well, I think this is actually a decent movie. I quite enjoyed it. I think it still holds up. Next up, we have The Iron Giant, which is a classic movie. I absolutely love this film. I really enjoyed it. I've only seen it once, can't remember too much about it, but I remember really enjoying it when I watched it. Next up, we've got Drag Me to Hell, which I've not seen yet, but I've heard that this is meant to be quite scary and quite gory as well, and I am definitely looking forward to watching this one. Next up, we have the Braids trilogy. I think the first two are awesome. Especially the first one, has some fantastic action scenes in it, especially the opening. The opening is absolutely badass. The opening scene absolutely rocks. And when Wesley Snipes first put on his costume, it's so good. And yeah, but the third one is not very good. I do not like the third movie at all, to be honest. But it does have Triple H in it, so that says a lot. But yeah, the first two are great though. Next up, we have Doctor Sleep, which is a really fantastic sequel to The Shining. I thought this was really well made. I thought this was nostalgia done in the right way. I thought they done it really well, and yeah, Ewan McGregor was actually really good in this movie. I was really impressed with his performance in this movie, and yeah, this is just such a good film. Next up, we've got Noah, which I haven't heard much about. I have heard a few people mention it before, but I haven't watched it yet, so I will get around to watching it at some point. Next up, we have the Final Destination 5, which is quite a decent movie. I really enjoyed this sequel. Has some brutal deaths in this one, especially the gymnastics scene. I think that's probably one of my favourite death scenes in a whole movie. That's just flipping horrible. And then you have the one with the laser, which is really nasty as well. So yeah, it's a decent sequel, that one. Next up, we have Liar Liar, which is one of my favourite Jim Carrey films. I think this is really funny. Jim Carrey is so funny and good in this film, and yeah, such a great time. Next up, we have The Thin Red Line, which is an absolutely incredible war movie. I think Terrence Malick done a great job directing this film. Has a fantastic cast. I believe it's got Sean Penn in it. yeah, also Adrian Brody, George Clooney, John Cusack. That is a fantastic cast there, just to name a few. Yeah, I remember really enjoying this. I really need to watch it again at some point. Next up, we have Fracture, which is a really good suspenseful thriller, one of the most underrated films from last decade that I've seen. And yeah, really enjoyed this film. Ryan Gosling and Anthony Hopkins are fantastic in this movie. Really enjoyed it. Next up, we have Good Will Hunting, which is an all-time classic. This film is so good. One of my favourite 90s movies. Robert Williams, his performance in this film was absolutely class. And Matt Damon is great as well. And I'm not going to spoil it, but this has one of my favourite endings to a movie ever. I think the ending is absolutely brilliant. And next up, we have a really disappointing movie. I was looking forward to watching this because I absolutely love Van Damme, and that is Cyborg. I didn't like this movie. As to be said, I thought it was really slow. I didn't think the action was that entertaining, and it has a really funny fight scene when he fights the villain, and every time he hits him, he goes oh, and then it will hit him again. It will go oh, and it was just so funny. It was I really had fun with the end fight scene. That was probably the best part of this movie, but for all the wrong reasons. Next up, we have Deep Rising, which is a really fun and entertaining horror movie, creature feature movie. Yeah, I have a great time with this one. It's not a great film, obviously. It has its flaws, but that's for sure. The effects don't look great, and the acting is honestly quite bad. But I think again it adds to the charm of the film, and it is a decent time. Next up, we have It Chapter 1, which I still stand by this. This is my favourite out of all of the It movies, including the original It miniseries and the 2018 movie. 2018, I mean 2019 It Chapter 2 movie. And yeah, this film, when I watched it in cinema, I just thought was excellent. I really liked all the kid characters in this movie. I thought all the actors done a fantastic job. And yeah, I thought the 80s setting was just magical when this film really brought back the great feeling of the 80s in a really good way. And I thought they done that, captured it really well. And yeah, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is excellent. And next up, we have The Others, which is a really underrated horror movie. One of my favourites from the 2000s. And yeah, this is just a really creepy movie. Has a fantastic ending as well, which I can't get into obviously because of spoilers. But I was caught off by the ending, and yeah, this film is just so good. Next up, we have Suicide Squad, the extended cut, and yeah, I really don't like this film, to be honest. I thought it was really bad. I like some of the songs in it, and there are a couple of action scenes in it that are quite entertaining. I will say that. And I really like Will Smith as is it Deadshot? Deadshot, I think. And yeah, he was great in this film, and obviously Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is just perfect casting. But other than that, I'm really not a fan of this film. Next up, we have Gandhi, which I've seen parts of before. I actually watched parts of this at primary school, I think. But I have never seen a movie all the way through, and I know this is a classic movie, so I definitely need to get round to watching it at some point. Next up, we've got Cemetery Junction, which is a really entertaining British comedy from last decade. Ricky Gervais is funny in this film, and Felicity Jones gives a great performance in it. And yeah, this is just a really entertaining film, to be fair. I do really enjoy it. Next up, we have Blade Runner 2049, which is an absolutely fantastic movie. I think the cinematography in this is stunning. I should upgrade this to 4K because I've heard the 4K is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, this is just one of the most visually beautifully looking movies I think I've ever seen. It is absolutely wonderful. The acting is brilliant as well. I do think it is a bit slow at times, which I don't think it's a amazing movie, but I still think it is a great one. But we have only got 2 more stacks to go through, so before we get into those, I will go through the comments. We got Steve saying we're same 3 for me. Yeah, we all have the same 3 favourite zombie movies. We got Sophie saying hello to Bad Lieutenant. We got Bad Lieutenant saying forgot the Night of the Living Dead. That's a really good choice, to be fair. I do like that film as well. We got the monkey saying no, it's Lieutenant asked for on my Instagram. We got Lisa Lee saying it's a ghost. Indeed. We got a monkey saying two action star asked I meant. We got Bad Lieutenant saying Sophie, I have all my DVDs and Blu-rays in strict alphabetical order. I know but having OCD and autism it helps. Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, well, having it everything in alphabetical order. Couldn't talk there for some reason. Sorry, everyone. I've been talking for quite a while, and yeah, definitely, I agree. Having everything in alphabetical order definitely does help. I would love to do that at some point, but my movies are all over the place. I've got movies upstairs, I've got movies over there, and it would just get so confusing, and it'd take a lot of time to organise it. That's for sure. We got Steve saying Return of the Living Dead. That's a great choice. I love that film. We got Sophie saying that sounds a great way to keep it organised. Yes, definitely, I agree. We got Bad Lieutenant saying Buggeration. Never heard of that. Fantastic film that. The second one is just as good, especially with cemetery scene. Oh, awesome! I have to give it a go. We got Steve saying, yeah, I agree. We got Bad Lieutenant saying Return to was directed by Ken Widerhorn. I think that's how you say it. Who directed another zombie flick called Shockwaves. I've heard about that but not watched it. Starring Peter Cushing, Widerhorn. Also did the infamous Animal House rip-off called King Fat. Oh, awesome. We got Michael Parker, Dark City came before The Matrix. I believe it did, yes. We got Steve saying I had Shockwaves on VHS. I haven't watched it in years. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I didn't realise you had it on VHS, to be honest, Steve. We got Bad Lieutenant said last bit of Whitehorn trivia. He also did the classic slasher in the early 80s called Eyes of a Stranger. Oh, cool. I think I've heard of that movie, but not watched it. We got Lisa Lee said, bye, I'm going to play my game. Okay, no worries, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. And we got Bad Lieutenant asking Lisa, what game are you playing? Just finished GTA 3 for the umpteenth time. Wow, what a game. That game is one of my favourites. We got Steve saying, I don't recall seeing that film. No, I don't think I've seen it, to be honest, Steve. We got Gary saying the 1979 version of Nosferatu with Isabel Janji. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's one of my favourite 70s films. I have heard good things about that one. I do really want to check that movie out. We got Bad Lieutenant said pretty good slasher film. Not sure if Tom Savini did the special effects for it. Got Bad Lieutenant saying Gary, haven't seen that. Have the 1922 original in my collection. Oh, awesome. Gary said Bad Lieutenant said Gary hold on is that one with Klaus Kinski in it. And let's get into some more movies. And next up we have a DVD called Twin Town. This film is absolutely mental and over the top. I have so much fun with this film. A cool little British movie set in Wales, and yeah, this film is just so much fun. Next up, we have Girls Trip. I've heard really good things about this film. I've heard it's going to be really funny, but I haven't got around to watching it yet, unfortunately. Next up, we have Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Unfortunately, I find this film not very good. Yeah, to me, this film was just kind of boring, in all honesty. I appreciate it for what it is. I definitely appreciate the movie and what it was trying to do at the time, but it's just not one of my favourites, unfortunately. Next up, we have a film called Carnage. which I haven't seen, but I have heard a few people talk about this one, and it sounds really cool from what I've heard. So yeah, definitely looking forward to giving this one a go. Next up, we have Fast and Furious 6, which is an entertaining movie. It's just basically the same as all the other Fast and Furious movies, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's not bad. It's quite good. Next up, we have Suspiria, which is my favourite Dario Argento movie. This film is absolutely spectacular. The cinematography and the colours in it just look absolutely beautiful. And the main theme done by Goblin is one of my favourite themes of all time. It's just such a haunting theme. I absolutely adore the score to this movie. And yeah, this film is so good. Has some really great creative kills in it as well. Love it. Next up, we have Don't Look Now, which is a really great 70s movie. Really great suspenseful thriller. This one, it kept me on the edge of my seat for the entire time. And Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie were just brilliant in it. Really enjoyed this one. Next up, we have Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a really great childhood classic. Really love this movie. I didn't actually grow up watching this one, unfortunately, but when I watched it, I was so glad I did, because I really had a great time with it. And Bob Hoskins is in it as well, so that's a plus because he's such a great actor. Next up, we have That'll Be the Day, starring David Essex, and this is a really entertaining film. I really enjoyed this one. The music is really good, and yeah, just an entertaining time. Next up, we have a really good disaster movie called Deepwater Horizon, starring Mark Wahlberg. This is a really good and tense movie. I really enjoyed this one. I do enjoy my disaster movies, and I think this is one of the better ones in that genre. So happy to own it. Next up, we have Revenant, and this is a fantastic movie. It's very slow moving and is kind of slow burner, but I think it is a really good one, definitely. And this is the film where Leonardo DiCaprio finally won his Oscar, thoroughly well deserved. I do think he has better performances, admittedly, but he still deserves to have won an Oscar for this movie. His performance in this one was fantastic, and yeah, this film is just really well made. But I'm not sure how rewatchable it is though. Next up, we have a Most Wanted Man. I haven't seen this, but my dad did seen it, and he said that it was meant to be quite good. So I'm looking forward to giving this a go, definitely. Next up, we have Cliffhanger, which is a fantastic 90s action movie starring Sylvester Stallone. John Lithgow was a villain as quality as well. And yeah, I guess you could say it's very similar to Die Hard, but it's obviously set in the mountains. But yeah, this film is really entertaining. One of my favourite action movies. And the opening scene to this movie is actually really fucking tense as well. Like, it's really tense stuff in the opening scene, which I wasn't expecting. Next up, we have Rat's Night of Terror, which is a really weird movie. This, I really don't know how to explain it. The acting is awful. The dialogue is really bad. But I had a good time with it. I think this is one of those films that is so bad it's so good. And I'd love to do a video on that someday. Films that are so bad it's good. Definitely would love to do that one day, and this would definitely be in that list because this film is really bad, but it's so entertaining. Next up, we have It Chapter 2, which unfortunately I found really disappointing. I still like the film. I think it is well made. I think it has some decent scenes in it, but it's just way too long for its own good. It did not need to be 3 hours long. I know that this is obviously based off the book, which was massive, and it's trying to fit a lot in. But sometimes things don't translate well from book into a film. But I haven't read the book myself, so I should read the book definitely. But yeah, I think this film was just way too long and way too drawn out for my liking. But it still has good stuff in it, but it's just a bit disappointing for me. Next up, we have A Beautiful Mind, which is a fantastic movie. Russell Crowe is fantastic in this movie, and it's got Jennifer Connelly, who's fantastic as well. Yeah, I absolutely adore this movie. really emotional at times, and it has a wonderful and charming story, and yeah, just really, really good movie. Next up, we have an all-time 50s classic, and that is The Bridge on the River Kwai. This is such a brilliant war movie. I absolutely adore this film. I really enjoyed the acting and the characters in this movie. I think they're all really likable, and yeah, this is just such an entertaining watch. I definitely need to give this movie another watch because I haven't seen it in quite a while. But when I watched it, I had an absolute blast with it. Next up, we have A Theory of Everything, which is about Stephen Hawking's life. I absolutely adore this film. I think it's a wonderful movie. I think the performances in it are absolutely brilliant from Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne, who plays Stephen Hawkins. Yeah, I really do love this movie. I think it's excellent. Next up, we have The Elephant Man, which I've heard is absolutely amazing 4K transfer, but I don't own it in 4K, unfortunately. But the movie itself is absolutely incredible. This is one of the saddest movies I've ever sat through. I was so close to tearing up at the end of this movie. I'm not going to lie. The ending nearly broke me, to be honest. And the more I thought about it, the more upset I was getting because this film is just so sad. It is one of the most beautiful and brilliant movies I've ever seen. I highly recommend this film. This could be my favourite David Lynch film. I think it is wonderful. John Hurt gives a fantastic performance in this movie. It's absolutely spellbinding, and yeah, wow, what a film. Next up, for some reason, I have the Human Centipede movies, the first one and the sequel. Yeah, I don't know why I own these movies. I think I got it as a Christmas present, to be fair. I've heard these movies are really messed up. Can't say I'm looking forward to watching them because of the stuff that I've heard about going on in these films, but I will. I'm definitely intrigued to check them out, and I will give them a go at some point. Next up, we have No Escape, which is a really entertaining and underrated modern action movie. I'm not sure if this is a remake of the 90s film, as I haven't seen the 90s action movie called which is also titled No Escape, obviously. But I enjoyed this movie, thought it was very entertaining, and would definitely watch it again. Next up, we have the Blair Witch Project and Blair Witch. I know the Blair Witch Project is a very popular movie, but I could not get into it at all. It's on. These are some of my least favourite horror movies. In all honesty, really sorry to say that, everyone, but I'm just not a fan of these films at all. They really annoyed me for some reason. I really didn't like the characters. I found them so annoying, and especially Blair Witch. Oh dear, not good. Some of the jump scares in that as well were just so predictable, I thought, and it was relying on jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. But I will say that the original is definitely better than the 2016 one, that's for sure. But I still found it to be very boring, not gonna lie. But yeah, or maybe my opinion will change on a rewatch. I'm not too sure, so maybe I'll have to give it another go. But we have got one more stack, and that is the DVDs. But so before we get into the final stack, let's go through some more comments. But before we do that, I must have a drink because I'm so thirsty. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Just needed to have a little refresh before continuing on. We got Pizza and Hey Scott. You okay, bud? Just pop back. In this has been a brilliant stream. It works very well. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you, Pete, and thank you so much. Really appreciate the kind words, my friends. I'm actually really enjoying doing this live stream, so I cannot wait for part 2 and part 3. But in part 2 and part 3, there's even more movies, so they're going to be super long live streams. Fuck me. But yeah, I do have quite a lot of films, to be fair. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, have you ever seen the extended 2.5 hour cut of Shining? I believe I have, yes. And that is definitely the best cut of the movie. And yeah, The Shining's just so good. One of my favourite movies ever. And looks brilliant in 4K. We got Gary saying, yes, that's the one BFI released it. We got Bad Lieutenant saying, think I watched it on BBC 2 years ago. It's about the making of a film, isn't it? Yes, mate. We got Bad Lieutenant saying the film I remember it's about a Janji in it was a very strange video nasty called Possessed, also starring Samuel. Oh, awesome. Oh, Possession. Oh, is that like is that a French movie? Is it, or is that another? Am I getting confused with something else? We got Gary saying this stream has been great. So many good movies. Thank you so much, Gary. Really do appreciate that, my friend. And I've caught up with all the comments. So with that being said, let's get into my DVDs. I haven't got too many of these to show, but let's get into it. I know I wouldn't show TV shows, but I'll save those for a separate video. A complete TV show DVD and complete comedy TV show collection at some point. But this is Steptoe and Son 2 movies, and yeah, these movies are fun. If you like the show, you're probably gonna like the films as well. Just really entertaining and really funny. Next up, we have the Sex Pistols, the Great Rock and Roll Swindle. I love this, so much fun. The Sex Pistols are one of my favourite bands ever, so yeah, this was just a really great time and has some of their best songs in it. Absolutely adore it. Next up, we have Above the Rim, which really needs a Blu-ray release. I would love to get this on Blu-ray. This is one of my favourite Tupac movies. A really great basketball movie. I really enjoy this one, and the soundtrack in it is really great. It has some fantastic 90s hip hop tracks in it, and yeah, what a film. Next up, we have Nil by Nalf, which also really deserves a Blu-ray release. I would love to get this on a Blu-ray. This film is really good. It's a really great sort of low scale British movie. Ray Winston is a madman in this. He's absolutely fucking mental in this movie. And yeah, I absolutely adore this film. It's just got some great acting in it. Brilliant stuff. Next up, we have a weird one. We got Roy Chubby Bam in a UFO the movie. This actually has Trigger from Only Fools and Horses in it as well, so that was quite entertaining. Yeah, this film is really bizarre and really strange, but it's so funny. It's really bad, but it's so funny. If you like Roy Chubby Bam's humour, you'll probably get a kick out of this movie. Yeah, I'd recommend it if you're a Roy Chubby Bam fan. Next up, we have Human Traffic, which is a underrated 90s movie, sort of about clubbing in the 90s. It's just a really entertaining clubbing movie in the late 90s, and yeah, I have a great time with this film. I think this was one of Dane Dyer's first big roles as well. So yeah, great film, really enjoy it. Next up, we have Bully, which is really hard film to watch. Really makes you feel uneasy. This movie when watching it, but it is a well-made film. I believe it's directed by Larry Clark, who is well known for directing sort of out there movies, and yeah, I do like this movie, but again, it is a hard movie to watch. Next up, we have Get Rich or Die Trying, which is a really entertaining 50 Cent movie. It's not one of my favourite rap movies or gangster movies. I do prefer stuff like Kate Mile and stuff like that. But this was still a decent time, and it does have a fantastic soundtrack as well. Next up, we have Bullet, which is another good Tupac movie, which also stars Mickey Rourke. This is probably my least favourite Tupac movie, but that by no means does that mean that I dislike this movie, because I still really enjoy it. I think that Tupac as the villain in this movie is fucking great, really good. Yeah, this film is just fantastic. I do really enjoy this film. Next up, we have South Central, which is one of my favourite hood movies. I think this is really emotional, and it does have some really important messages told in this movie as well. The performances are absolutely fantastic, and it's just such a great movie from the 90s. Next up, we have a 2-disc DVD set of how do you pronounce it? I can't pronounce it. I can never pronounce it. But Aberdeen Millwall, I think is how you pronounce it. I probably butchered that. and the Football Factory, which I do own on Blu-ray, but it's the only way I think you can get this movie, I believe. So, yeah, I'm happy to own this in my collection. I love the Football Factory. I will talk about that more when I show the Blu-ray of it. But yeah, that will be in part 2 of live stream. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching A Reversary Millwall. I believe it's set in Spain in 1982, and yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. Good things about it. Next up, we have a Confessions trilogy, which is Confessions of a Window Cleaning, a pop cleaner, a pop performer, and a driving instructor. The only one I've seen is Confessions of a Window Cleaner, but I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a classic comedy from the 70s. Has some great 70s humour in it. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching the other 2 movies. Next up, we have Broken Glass, which I was recommended by Tony, Retro Movie Zone. Shout out to you, my friends. Great YouTuber. If you haven't checked out Tony's channel, definitely go and check it out. He's absolutely incredible guy. And yeah, he recommended this to me because I love films like Quadrophenia and stuff like that. And this film also stars Phil Daniels, who's also in Quadrophenia. And yeah, the music in this film is just absolutely class from Hazel O'Connor. She has a fantastic voice. And yeah, this is quite an entertaining story, and I really enjoyed watching it. It's sort of like about this person who wants to become a singer, but goes through a lot of issues along the way. And yeah, it's just a great movie, really entertaining, and has some really great songs in it. Next up, we have Untamed Heart, which was recommended to me by Andy, Forgotten World of Movies. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Andy. Really do appreciate it. And this film is so good. I absolutely loved it. It's probably my favourite romance movie ever, to be honest. It's such a sweet and charming movie. The love relationship between Marissa Tomei and Christian Slater in this movie is just absolutely wonderful. And the ending to this movie is really sad. I nearly cried watching this movie, to be honest. And yeah, this film is just so good. I cannot wait to watch it again. And we got 2 more DVDs left, guys. 2 more movies. And next up is Prick Up Your Ears. I was really looking forward to watching this movie because I heard fantastic things about it. But unfortunately, this movie just wasn't for me. I don't know why. I just couldn't get into it. I appreciate it for sure. It is a very well made film, and the performances is fantastic. But it just wasn't for me, unfortunately. I couldn't get into it. And finally, last up, we have a brilliant movie, and that is Talk Radio, directed by Oliver Stone. This is one of the most underrated films I have seen. I absolutely love this movie. Andy from Forgotten World of Movies is also a massive fan of this movie, and it was him that actually inspired to give this movie a go. And I'm so glad I decided to check it out because this is really good. It's all about this radio talk show host who's known for being sort of controversial. He says a lot of controversial things online, and he's either liked or hated for it. And it goes, I think the story goes in a really interesting direction. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it's one of the best acted films that I've seen in quite some time. So yeah, highly recommend this. Really great film. And that is it. That is all the stuff I have upstairs. That's the end of part 1. And wow, I have movies all over me, all around me, all on the floor. Everything has literally fallen over. I've got movies literally like 5 yards away from me as well. So I've got gonna have a great time sorting this out. But yeah, but I'm gonna finish off the comments and then end the stream. Gary says Possession you can get on 4K from a French boutique company. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, awesome stuff. I have heard of Possession. I've heard it's going to be really good. To be fair, got Bad Lieutenant says sorry, chaps, and chaps is have to go as my batteries run out. Fantastic live stream, Scott. I'm looking forward to the next one. No worries, Bad Lieutenant. Thank you so much for joining, my friend. I really do appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed. Bad Lieutenant says to Gary, got the uncut UK Blu-ray by Arrow, I think. There's supposed to be a longer version in existence, but it's never seen the light of day. Oh, that's a shame. And the final comment of tonight is Winzo. Hello, mate. Thank you for joining. Same Possession is on BFI player. Oh, awesome. That's really cool. And yes, that is the end of the comments, and that'll be the end of tonight's stream. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight, everyone. Really do appreciate it. I've had so much fun talking about all these films. I'm really passionate about movies, and I hope that's come across on this live stream. I do love talking about movies. I love doing the live streams with Pete on Pretendo Guys channel, of course, as well. I love doing my streams on this channel because I have fantastic guests on it as always. And yeah, I'm just excited, so excited to do part 2 and part 3. I'll probably do part 2 in 2 weeks' time. I'll probably do part 3 2 weeks after that as well. So, but space them out in 2 weeks' time each time. So yeah, that's probably how I do it. But I hope you all enjoyed. Everyone got Gary doing thumbs up. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. So yeah, that'll be it for this live stream, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining. It's been an absolute blast. Really do appreciate it. And with all that being said, bye everyone. Bye.